cinéma nous regarde. Ça aide à vivre d'être regardé. Le cinéma, ça entretient la mémoire aussi. C'est important, la mémoire et les souvenirs. Par exemple, demain, je me réveillerai et ce moment lumineux sera un merveilleux souvenir pour toujours.
Euronews. Stay connected to Europe.
Your next news bulletin on Euronews is coming up in under 1 minute.
Hard taskmaster.
I like to give orders.
Oh. There he is.
Euronews. The news.
Tens of thousands of Georgians marched through Tbilisi in a show of support for their country joining the European Union. Israel's military launches more strikes on Lebanon, it says to target financial institutions run by the militant group Hezbollah. Tens of thousands of Georgians have marched through Tbilisi in a show of support for their country joining the European Union. The rally comes just a week ahead of parliamentary elections set to take place on the 26th of October. That vote is widely seen as a test to determine whether Georgia returns to Russia's orbit or continues on its pro-European path. Last year, the EU granted Georgia candidate country status, but since then, opposition supporters argue that the ruling Georgian Dream Party has derailed the country's chances of joining the bloc. Two recent pieces of legislation in particular raised eyebrows in Brussels. Earlier this month, Georgia's parliament speaker signed a controversial anti-LGBTQ+ rights bill into law. That includes bans on same-sex marriages, adoptions by same-sex couples, and limitations on the depiction of LGBTQ+ couples in the media. And in May, Parliament passed a controversial foreign agent law that requires media organisations and NGOs to register as foreign agents if they receive at least 20% of their funds from abroad. The ruling Georgian Dream Party claimed the bill would curb alleged foreign attempts to sway domestic politics. But critics dubbed it the Russian law because they say it mirrors similar legislation adopted by the Kremlin to target, discriminate and ultimately outlaw political opponents. Pro-European President Salome Zurabishvili has long been at odds with the Georgian dream and refused to sign both bills into law. The laws have been roundly criticised by the European Union, leading to the freezing of Georgia's EU accession process.
Ukraine says it struck an explosives plant and airfield in Russia in an overnight assault which saw more than 100 drones launched over Russia's western regions. The Russian Ministry of Defense says 110 drones were destroyed, 43 of which were shot down over the border region of Kursk. The governor of the city of Zhurinsk in Russia's Nizhny Novgorod region wrote on social media that 4 firefighters were injured repelling a drone attack over the city's industrial zone, but did not give further details. It comes as a Russian strike on the Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia left 10 local residents wounded on Saturday evening, according to the national police. The strike partially destroyed a residential building and damaged shops, a car wash, a shopping centre warehouse and various vehicles.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the majority of his Western allies were supportive of his so-called victory plan. He said he got positive signals on the use of long-range missiles. However, he criticized the fact that some countries, including the US, the UK and France, wanted to coordinate their decisions with each other whether to give permission to use the missiles into Russian territory. Alexander Kornienko is the deputy spokesperson for the Ukrainian parliament. He said it has been a crucial factor for Ukraine since the start of the war.
Because we asked for that even in 2022, because we all understand that one of the biggest and important, part of stress to Russia, it's to stress to Russia military objects near Ukraine, close to Ukraine, but not close maybe. Something far, and we do it right now with our, creative solutions like using long-range drones and someone else. But of course, if you talk about real serious part like military strategy of that, we need to use long-range artillery, of course.
Meanwhile, Ukraine says Russia is attempting to beef up its forces by using 10,000 North Korean soldiers, escalating and widening the scope of the war. President Zelensky warned about this development in Brussels, where he outlined the victory plan with allies in the EU and NATO.
So, we know about 10,000 soldiers of North Korea that they are preparing to send fight against us. This is really urgent thing because Iran, they gave, drones, licenses to produce these drones and missiles, yes, but not people, not officially, yes? And here we see this first step in this war, and this is the first step to a world war.
Allies are yet to give official responses to the victory plan, which sources say it requires a major upgrade in military support. However, the majority of allies recognize that time is running out to help Ukraine win.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Israel's military has launched more strikes on Lebanon, it says to target banks and financial institutions that support the militant group Hezbollah. The IDF issued evacuation warnings for 24 areas, including 14 in the capital Beirut, warning that strikes were likely throughout the night.
אנחנו נתקוף מספר רב של מטרות בשעות הקרובות, ומטרות נוספות בהמשך הלילה. בימים הקרובים נחשוף כיצד איראן מממנת את פעילות הטרור של חיזבאללה באמצעות שימוש במוסדות אזרחיים, אגודות ועמותות כמחסה לפעילות טרור. אנחנו נתקוף אותם במהלך הלילה ונעדכן על תוצאות התקיפה בהמשך הימים הקרובים.
A senior Israeli intelligence official said the main target of the strikes was the Hezbollah-run banking system Al-Qad al-Hassan. It provides cash-based financial services and is used by hundreds of thousands of ordinary Lebanese. In a statement, the bank said the strikes were a sign of Israel's bankruptcy and assured customers their funds were safe. A year of escalating tensions and frequent cross-border fire between Israel and Hezbollah over the conflict in Gaza turned into all-out war last month. Israel launched what it called a targeted ground operation into Lebanon at the end of September, with as many as 15,000 troops said to be inside the country. The IDF said Hezbollah fired more than 170 rockets into Israel on Sunday, with 3 people slightly injured from a fire sparked by a strike on the northern city of Safed.
Red and orange weather alerts are in place across Italy as heavy rainfall causes flash flooding throughout the country. The region of Emilia-Romagna has so far been the worst hit, with 1 person killed after a car was swept away by a flood wave in the town of Pianoro near Bologna. Tuscany's River Elsa and Sicily's River Salso have both burst their banks, and residents in both areas have been advised to avoid non-essential travel. Weather warnings are expected to remain in place until Tuesday. Meanwhile, in central France, severe flooding has caused widespread damage and power outages. Many residents have returned to find their homes destroyed. On Friday, French Prime Minister Michel Barnier said that firefighters and other rescuers have been involved in roughly 2,300 operations so far. Moldovans are voting in a constitutional referendum that could change the long-term future of their country. Citizens are being asked whether they support an amendment of the constitution with a view to accession to the European Union after the process was formally opened last June. At the same time, Moldova is electing its president, with the incumbent Maia Sandu leading the polls. By 1 p.m, turnout for the presidential election was at 25.6%, higher than in 2020. President Sandu voted in Chisinau, where a number of citizens gathered at the polling station chanting "Moldova, let's vote."
Turnout must be over 33% for the referendum to be considered valid, and 50% plus 1 of the responses must be a yes for the constitution to be amended. The vote of Moldovans living abroad can be crucial. Vincenzo Genovese, Euronews, Chisinau.
Tourists arriving in Greece this week may receive an unexpected welcome as labour unions distribute English leaflets highlighting the harsh working conditions in the tourism industry. Protests are also planned at key locations including ports, airports and archaeological sites.
Ζητάμε αυξήσεις οι οποίες θα καλύψουν την αγοραστική δύναμη του μισθού μας, την οποία την έχουμε χάσει λόγω της έκρηξης της ακρίβειας, 12% για 2 έτη, 6% για 1 έτος, και ζητάμε εν έτη 2024 να εφαρμοστεί και σε εμάς το πενθήμερο 40ωρο.
A shortage of staff has been one of the biggest headaches for the Greek tourism industry in 2024. And although there has been an increase in tourist arrivals this year, Greece is not growing as fast as other Mediterranean countries as a holiday destination.
Χώρες Μεσογείου και οι βαλκανικές χώρες συνολικά αυξάνουν το μερίδιό τους, που σημαίνει ότι οι τουρίστες προτιμούν αυτή την περιοχή για τις τους. Τώρα, βλέποντας τη χώρα δική μας, συγκρινόμενη με τις υπόλοιπες χώρες, φαίνεται ότι αυξάνεται με την ίδια ταχύτητα.
Public infrastructure such as ports, airports, water and sewage networks and waste management is struggling to keep up with the rising number of tourists.
Nice. Coffee? Yeah, I brought coffee. In Spain, I have workers coming to mow the grass for the neighbor, and I was supposed to pay them. So I had to go and give them cash money. Hey, yeah, how are you doing? I'm doing so well. I was outside this Saturday.
How you manage the impact
For too many years, we've been measuring tourism by just the volume of tourism
haven't been like
and just, how much money
out
they leave behind.
at a bar in what feels like forever. I was having the time of my life. I was having so much fun. Truly, XXL. Hell yeah, it's XXL. You know the story behind these cups? I have family in Germany, and every year when they come over, they stop at these really expensive gas stations in Austria. And apparently, like, what you do at gas stations in Austria, you have like a coffee machine, but you get a cup there for the coffee size that you want. So there's like S cups, and XXL is like the biggest one. And because my relatives are so pissed off because everything at this gas station is overpriced, every once in a while they steal a cup. So this is a stolen cup. This is illegal. Also, I guess they need something else. Be right back.
A timeless journey. To choose Grana Padano is to embrace its unique Italian values. A moment to be shared. Grana Padano, an Italian feeling.
Want to be inspired? Start your sensory journey with the Euronews Culture newsletter. Sign up now on euronews.com/newsletters. Delivered every week to your inbox.
Je suis déterminé, je suis motivé, je suis concentré.
We have to show how vulnerable the oil industry is by hitting something big.
For a global weather forecast and daily air quality index, connect to euronews.com/weather.
Decision making is crucial in businesses.
The cloud spending will surpass the $1 trillion mark in Europe.
You have to love the problem.
Making equity great again.
I don't believe in digitalizing for the sake of digitalization.
AI is a new power, a new capability.
We speak to some of the brightest minds in industry to address the key topics on the business agenda.
You're a hard taskmaster.
I like to give orders.
Oh. There he is.
Euronews. The news.
Pennsylvania, a crucial swing state that could hold the keys to the White House, is getting set for a neck-and-neck contest in the U.S. presidential election. With 2 weeks to go before the polls, both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have become fixtures in
Hey, you're
America's
back.
largest
Yeah, stream reported for a stolen cup.
With its 19 electoral votes,
Wait, you asked where I was. I was at fuck.
important swing states.
Pennsylvania is a state.
Wait, what's the name of the pub?
Trump in 2016.
Amsterdam?
2020.
I think it's Amsterdam. It's close to San Francisco. It's on that side of the street. So you go San Francisco and you go somewhere.
Rural communities. So
And you go to
Pennsylvania
Amsterdam.
serves
It
as
was my
sort of
first time being there. It was my first time being there. I wasn't sure what it was. But look, I had fun.
By just tens of
But
thousands.
also, I haven't eaten anything the entire Saturday. I forgot to eat like 2 times.
Half of my friends.
So I have eaten nothing, and then I come to the bar, and like my boyfriend's driving, so I'm allowed to have some alcohol.
Really be, literally
Yeah, I drank
on
3
day, does it rain?
Tomislav
Is it sunny?
beers.
And
Had
who's
the time of
knocking
my
on
life, to
doors,
be honest.
and who's most
I was having so much fun. I was enjoying it. I was fucking enjoying it. Haven't been outside like doing social drinking in a very long time. In like pubs or something. Usually we do house parties and it's more like chill or whatever. Yeah, for such a long time I wasn't outside doing that. It was great. Hey, I haven't tried it. Also strong? Oh, nice. Yeah, I should have eaten something before. I just
That vote is
yeah.
widely seen as a test
Idiotic,
of
just
whether
absolutely
Georgia
idiotic.
returns to Russia's orbit or continues on its
25
pro-European
districts.
path.
Wait, I have a live
Last
stream.
year, the EU granted Georgia
Where is it?
candidate country status, but
I have a
since
live
then,
stream
opposition
opened
supporters
on
argue
the
that ruling
voting.
Georgian Green Party has derailed the country's
But yeah,
efforts of joining the
currently
bloc.
a little lead. Currently a little lead for the yes
Legislation in particular
crew.
raised
A little
eyebrows
tiny
in
lead.
Brussels. Earlier this month,
There was a lot
Georgia's
of people
parliament
there.
speaker signed a
All the
controversial
tables were filled.
anti-LGBTQ
It doesn't really
rights
fit
bill into
that many
law.
people.
That
We
includes
were in the
bans
like
on
back
same-sex
area, so you go
marriages,
there and then you
adoptions
go
by
to back.
same-sex
I don't know.
couples, and limitations on the
It was
detention
my
of
first time there. I didn't know they had an
LGBTQ+
area
couples in
where you
the
go
media.
in the back
And in May,
part.
Parliament passed a
I was so
controversial
confused.
foreign agent law that requires media
But yeah,
organizations
it
and
was full.
NGOs
All
to
the tables
register
were full,
foreign agents
and
if they receive at
we
least
stayed
20%
until
of their
rather
funds
late
from
at
abroad.
night. But I don't
The
know
ruling Georgian
what
Green
time it
Party
was,
claimed
to
the
be
bill would
completely
curb
honest.
alleged foreign
I know
attempts
it
to
was
sway
full, and then
domestic
it was
politics,
almost empty,
but
and then it
critics
was
dubbed
full
it the
again,
Russian law
because like a
because they say
new
mirrors
group
similar
of people
legislation
came,
adopted by the
and these
Kremlin
ones
to
were
target, discriminate,
louder.
and ultimately outlaw political
And then we went
opponents.
home.
Pro-European President
Take my
Salome
dates to the backpack.
Zurabishvili has long
Lots
been
of
at
really
odds with the
good-looking women
Georgian
there.
regime and
Lots
refused
of
to sign
really
both
good-looking
bills
women.
into law. The laws have been
President can
roundly
veto
criticised by
the
European
That's
Union, leading to the
bullshit. That should not be
freezing of
allowed. Why
Georgia's
would
EU
the
accession
president be able to
process.
veto a referendum? That seems like
Israel's military
ignoring
has
the
launched
point of
more
referendums
strikes
in the
on
first
Lebanon.
place.
It says to target
That
banks and
is not
financial
supposed to be
institutions
happening.
that support the militant group Hezbollah. The IDF issued
I'm
evacuation
sitting on my
warnings
ass and
for
singing.
24
See, that's
areas,
nice still
including
though. That's
14 in
nice.
the
That's
capital
nice. I mean, you
Beirut,
go
warning
outside
that strikes
way
were
more
likely
often than I
throughout
do.
the night.
So it's good to have rest nights sometimes. I wasn't outside in a really, really long time. Pro-Russians can ignore everything. That's true. That's true. Can they veto a referendum if, like, we go to the results? That would be horrible. Can... That would be bullshit.
A senior Israeli intelligence official said the main
No,
target of the strikes was the
how do you gonna find
Hezbollah-run
it?
banking system Al-Qad al-Hassan. It provides cash-based financial services and is used by hundreds of thousands of ordinary Lebanese.
Referendums by
In a
country.
statement, the bank said the strikes were a sign of Israel's bankruptcy and assured customers their funds were safe. A year of escalating tensions and
bullshit.
frequent
That's
cross-border
way too
fire
much to be
between
reading
Israel and
here.
Hezbollah over the
Okay,
conflict in
Moldova.
Gaza turned into all-out war last month. Israel launched what it
According to
called a
Article
targeted
75 of
ground
the
operation
Constitution of
into Lebanon
Moldova,
at the end
problems of
September,
utmost
with as
gravity
many as
or
15,000
urgency
troops
shall be
said to be
resolved by
inside the
referendum. The
country.
decisions passed in consequence of
IDF
the
said
results
Hezbollah
produced by the
fired more than
Republican referendum
170
have
rockets into
supreme
Israel
judicial
on Sunday,
power.
with 3 people slightly injured from a fire sparked by a strike on the northern city of Safed.
Oh, and then there's a list of referendums. Like,
Red and
they're not
orange
giving me.
weather
I
alerts
click
were
on
in place
referendums in
across
Moldova, and I
Italy
thought it would be a
as heavy
specific list of
rainfall
like
causes
rules or
flash
some shit.
flooding
No,
throughout
it's
the
just a list of
country.
referendums that they had. They had like
The
4 of
region
them.
of Emilia-Romagna has so far
1,
been
2,
the
3,
worst
4,
hit,
5.
with one
If you
person
count
killed
this one
after a
right
car
now.
was swept
So yeah.
away by a flood wave in the town of Pianoro near Bologna.
Bullshit. But I'm not.
Tuscany's
I'm
River
kind of
Elsa
concerned
and
about the
Sicily's
second round
River
of presidential
Salso have both
elections.
burst their
Going to be
banks,
honest,
and
because
residents in those areas have been advised to avoid
if you
non-essential
count all the
travel.
opposition votes, they have more votes than
Warnings are
Sandu
expected to
has.
remain in place until
And
Tuesday.
as far as I understand, the
Meanwhile, in
opposition is
central France,
mostly.
severe flooding has caused widespread damage and power outages.
same shit.
Many residents have
So I'm
returned
concerned
to
about
find their
that.
homes
I haven't looked
destroyed.
into them too deeply, but I have seen
Friday, French
Ruskies
Prime
on Twitter
Minister
celebrating
Michel
about
Barnier
it.
said that
So that's what I know.
firefighters and other rescuers have been
That's what I
involved in
know, to be
roughly
perfectly honest.
2,300 operations so
Presidential
far.
elections, candidates. Okay, let's see. Maya Sandu, we know her, she's chill.
Moldovans are voting in a constitutional referendum that could change the long-term future of their country. Citizens are being asked whether they support an
How can I find? Why isn't there just a thing? Well, like I click on a person's name and it gives me like the percentage of how much they are pro-Russian, and that's that. I feel that's like I'm a one-issue voter. I feel I should be having access to this.
By 1 p.m., turnout for the presidential election was at 25.6%,
irrelevant this, but yeah.
higher than in 2020.
Overall, first round she got it. Second round, I'm really kind of worried about it. Pro-Russian guy is second. He has like 20-some% of the votes. Maya has 49.
To be considered valid, and 50% plus one of the responses must be a yes for the constitution to be amended. The vote of Moldovans living abroad can be crucial. Vincenzo
Okay,
Genovese,
he didn't mention the
Euronews,
veto. He didn't
Chisinau.
mention the veto. Nice.
Tourists arriving in Greece
But yeah,
this
pro-Russian
week
guy
may
is
receive
second. But if you count the
unexpected
pro-Russian
welcome
guy
as
plus the
Labour
other
unions
candidates in the election, if you
distribute
count all of their
leaflets
votes together,
highlighting the harsh
they have more votes than
working
Maya
conditions in the
Sandu has.
tourism industry.
So the second round of
Protests
presidential
are
elections,
also
if
planned
the
at key
opposition votes
locations, including ports,
manage to
airports,
unite in
and
a way,
archaeological sites.
leaving for work in a few minutes. I'm so sad. I'm so sorry for that. Wait, how are you leaving now? 10:26. Weren't you leaving before 10? Am I an idiot? Am I a dumbass? I might be a dumbass. I don't know. I barely know when I'm leaving. You know what I've learned? You know what I've learned? When you count all the 3 days, vacation days in a year that I have, like I was preparing that I still have one small vacation in February, right? Before the like summer vacation that's bigger. So mentally I was like, yeah, February vacation, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. We get the paperwork. I got the paperwork. I have 3 days. I can't like have a week even. I have 3 days of my vacation in February. Completely fucked up my like mental state. Yeah, I got free. If I get it together with like Sunday, I'll have 4. Just like what I do with 4 days. 2 weeks around Christmas? Bullshit! I have nothing. I have nothing. And we have working Sundays around Christmas. And I actually have to fight to get the one that I want free. Bullshit, 2 weeks around Christmas. That's... Oh, shit. Oh yeah, it was 10 to 18 usually. Oh nice, oh nice. Preschoolers were accepted into the so-called youth army and were given a meeting with Russian soldiers who took part in the Russian-Ukrainian war. Shit. They were presented with a model of destroyed Bakhmut. Who the fuck does that? Hey children, look what you will be able to create. Yay! Bullshit. Okay. Who the fuck does that? They do shit sometimes that I'm certain is intended. Oh look, it's not. It's intended to make it seem like we are imagining how vile they are. They do shit sometimes that just makes you go, impossible. It's impossible they are this evil. I have this one. I have just this one. I've been watching this and it's the results live stream. Someone shared it on Twitter. So that's what I got. I had 7 days only. Then it makes sense. Then it makes sense. You have like 2 weeks left. I'm still jealous, but yeah, nice. 400 pics of kids in Porto Novo. Too young even for me. The fact there was a kids event? Didn't they have like the opening of a casino or something? Am I thinking about something else? Am I mixing up the days? I don't even know. Because I have a friend. Listen, I have a friend. That's Pepa Prasic. Oh yeah, no, I know a casino was opened and there was a concert. But yeah, I was thinking about something else. Because I made a friend working in Intel. I made a friend. He's a what is he? He drives shit around. He drives for Podravka? Like, no, it was Pep. Oh, you piece of shit. Fair. I do get jokes made about her, to be completely honest, because like my boyfriend has taught his niece, like I've got a big nose like Peppa has. So it's like it's the same thing. It's like, but yeah, no, listen. I know the dude who drives a Podravka, and he has a business in banking. He has a business in Osijek where he has those like vintage vans, and he equipped them so he could be serving cocktails from them. So usually, like, when I know something is happening in the city, I know because I'm trying to figure out where he's gonna go next, so I can go and buy cocktails from him. You know? Yeah, he drives for Intel. He's driving around. I learned about him before he was at... Oh, there was a thing they did in the center of the city. With like old music jukebox, and there was dancing. So I was there buying cocktails, and then he was at Hedonist, and I think he's going to be at Advent too. So basically, I'm just like following where he is, and I'm driving cocktails. I know nothing else in that fucking city, my man. I'm just like, hey, where are you going? Where are you going? Are you going to Advent? Nice. Then I'm going too, I guess. I have no choice now. Oh yeah, I didn't know about him last year. I had no idea about him. Learned about it like recently, and I was like, yeah. But yeah, guys, holy shit.
Your next news
I have to show you my videos.
Is coming up.
I saved a bunch of videos, and then I have to go, because I have to go at around 12:30, I'm thinking. I want to know, gas prices are getting higher tomorrow. Make sure to like load up on your gas, alright? Gas prices are getting higher tomorrow, and I'm a poor bitch. You gotta go to work. Good luck. Good luck. Nauru parliamentary elections, less than a year. Oh shit. Who's the candidate? Did they... Fuck. How many candidates can they even have? Like... Less than a year? They had it in 2022. Oh yeah, look, for reals, 2025. Oh, in my head, I guess it's like 2023. Thank you for joining, DB. Thank you. Ruskun. Are we cheering for him? Taiwo, do we cheer for this dude? Is he a good dude? Is he proper? Wait, let me go to 225. Oh! Parliament is elected for a 3-year term. Fair. All citizens aged 20 and older are permitted to cast their ballots. 20 and older. So not 18. Voting is compulsory. Individuals who fail to vote without sufficient reasoning are required to pay a fine. Nauruans who provide proof of illness, are in hospital, or are not present in the country on election day are excused. However, Nauruans overseas on the polling day have the option to engage in proxy voting, where an individual assigns someone in Nauru to vote on their behalf. How cool is that? You're outside of the country and you're like, yeah, my mother's gonna vote for me. And she comes to the voting booth and she's like, yeah, I'm voting for my kid. That's so cool. How do they know she's not gonna lie to me and, you know, vote for the wrong person? How do they make sure? Are they just like, yeah, make sure you assign someone you can trust? It's your own responsibility to get your vote proper, I guess. Never trust a mom. True, my mother would vote for SDP.
controversial foreign agent law.
You know how hard it is for me to like keep my family in check when it comes to voting. You know how hard that shit is. I feel if I could make my parents proxies for me in voting, I still wouldn't trust them, to be honest. I would rather not cast a vote at all. I don't know if they would vote for the proper person. I don't know if I would be able to tell them who I want them to vote for without them like kicking me out of the house in the first place.
With the Georgian dream and refused to sign both bills into law.
Georgian elections, by the way, big thing. Georgian elections are in a week. So the victory of the peoples in Moldova is seen as a rather big, inspiring thing for people in Georgia. So we'll have to see if they are as successful as Moldova is. Obviously, there's going to be some election interference from Russians. Why does my throat hurt so bad? But yeah, I'm hoping that Georgia actually manages to pull through. It's a tiny country though, I'm kind of scared. It's a small country and so much of it is occupied by Russians already, you know?
But did not give further details.
Like, I'm so scared.
It comes as a Russian strike on the Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia.
Genuinely so worried. It could like decide their entire fate as a nation. But they did have you seen their protests? They had huge pro-European Union protests throughout the entire weekend. So I'm kind of hoping it continues, and I'm hoping, you know, the movement like goes on. 98% of the vote now. Surely not that much. But I think.
However, he criticized the fact that
I'm really scared. I genuinely think that something could happen.
UK and France wanted to coordinate.
They want to coordinate decision on long-range missiles. A bullshit. You know Scholz is going to stop it.
Alexander Kornienko is the deputy spokesperson for the Ukrainian parliament. He said it has been a crucial factor.
Not too happy. I have seen who's in Kiev right now as we speak.
Because we all understand that one of the biggest and important.
Who do we have? Who do we have? Who do we have in Kiev?
Part of stress to Russia. It's to.
We got some big people in Kiev at the moment. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Head of Pentagon, Austin, arrived in Kiev. He is expected to hold talks with Zelensky and to meet with Defense Minister Umerov. News released today, so I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that there's a bit of a change there, you know what I mean? I'm hoping there's a bit of a momentum, because as far as I know, the meeting we didn't know about it previously until it was actually reported on, so I'm hoping there's some change ongoing, but yeah. Pro-EU attitudes precede Russian special operation. I'm scared that Russians are going to be buying a lot of votes though. Because they did buy a lot of votes in Moldova. They bought a lot of votes in Moldova. Now, if we're lucky though, if we're lucky, and I mean lucky as shit, there's a possibility the paid voters will not be voting pro-Russia again, because there's reports from the polling booths in Moldova that Russians didn't actually pay these people. They told them they're gonna get paid, and then they just like never responded to their phone calls again. All of them had, you know, someone promising them a specific amount of money if they vote a certain way, so they voted. And then they tried calling this person who promised them money and just never got into contact. So if we're lucky as fuck, these people are gonna be angry and hopefully voting for someone else, or just like not going out to vote in the first place. And this could take away some votes from the pro-Russian opposition in Moldova for the second round of elections. Because I'm really, really worried about the second round of elections, truly. She didn't get 50%, and because she didn't get 50%, it should be repeated. Unless there's like news on this that I haven't seen yet, which is doubtful. Oh shit.
בימים הקרובים נחשוף כיצד איראן מממנת את פעילות הטרור של חיזבאללה
באמצעות שימוש במוסדות אזרחיים, אגודות ועמותות כמחסה לפעילות טרור. אנחנו נתקוף אותם במהלך הלילה ונעדכן על תוצאות התקיפה בהמשך הימים הקרובים.
A senior Israeli intelligence official said the main target of the
Gotta show you my news though. I've saved Jake Bro talking about the North Korean soldiers, which I'm actually interested in because I have no idea what's going on there and I have no idea if there's anything new. So I really wanted to look into that. As far as I know, we've seen certain images, we've seen certain videos that are supposed to be like confirming that they are there. I think we had, was it one only big report on it in like what you would call mainstream media, and that's that. Usually it's been mostly called like allegations or whatever.
Talking about North Korea yet.
So I don't know.
The videos have emerged.
I'm hoping the current meeting of Kyiv is connected to this and that there's a little bit more of a
sources fluent in Korean
panic
have
factor
that the language
connected to this, but also I don't really
was
know.
spoken in 2 videos showing North Korean soldiers inside of Russia. If you've not seen the videos, this is one of them.
They confirmed the language.
These are North Korean soldiers receiving supplies from the Russians. And yes, I can hear Korean being spoken in this video. This video is fascinating.
I can't hear shit.
So at the 12 or 13 second mark, I think I hear the word "komatsamnida," which is the most polite form of saying thank you in Korean.
I think
but look at
less
the height differential
than Dennis.
between this Russian and then every North Korean soldier who's lined up. These dudes are short.
Don't want to say.
And up to 12,000 North Korean troops.
Yeah, I think he's one of the milder ones, to be honest. I think he's one of the milder ones. At least I haven't seen him fall for disinformation so far. Maybe I missed something, I don't know. Because I do remember Dennis sharing certain videos.
Here's the satellite images, and here's
sharing some videos in his videos that were later debunked. It was like older shit or something, and he didn't know because he's trying to do videos daily, and then when he tries to do them daily, he like
ship to Vladivostok.
You know, messes up sometimes. Can't really do enough preparation for certain things.
Russian or Ukrainian, but I can read Hangul. I lived in South Korea for 6 years. This is the village of Hamung, Cheongjin, and this says Vladivostok, Vladivostok. Here are the satellite images of the North Koreans lining up and then getting ready for deployments.
Fuck, wait, I haven't seen actually.
Vladivostok.
Yeah, you see this? You said this? It's really a cool thing in Hangul. They don't have V. Like the V you would see in Vladivostok, usually. This, they don't have it. So the way they have to write it is by using B. This is their B or P sound, depending on where it's written. So it's technically B, nothing, L, La, D. Hello, how are you doing? Thank you for subbing, Platya. Escalating to 19 months, hell yeah. B, O, S, quiet, talk. Like this, it's such a cool thing. It's such a cool thing, and then you actually like can figure out how the letters are spoken. Like it makes sense that they would read certain of them as V or something, but usually it's really confusing for new people to read. Like if I want to write my name to Victoria, I have to write it with B, because there's no V. They just don't have specific V sounds. They have B, and then B in some situations is V. Or in some situations, it's P. It's really cool. Yahtzee was
Here are the satellite images of the North Koreans lining up and then getting ready for deployments. This was provided by South Korea.
Man.
This is also confirmed by Ukrainian intelligence.
11,000.
Budanov says close to 11,000 North Korean troops are in Russia and will be ready to fight in Ukraine by November 1st.
11,000.
So here's the argument I'm about to make for you.
Oh, South Korea confirmed it.
All of these North Korean men are dead. They're dead. And I'm not saying that in that Ukraine's military is going to exterminate them all. Kim Jong-un issued this death sentence. Any North Korean man, these 10,000, 11,000, whatever, if Kim Jong-un let them leave the country, then they're never allowed to return. These men might not know this yet, but I think they're going to figure it out over the coming weeks and months. Because they've left the Hermit Kingdom, they're dead. They're never allowed to return. And I've already talked about my previous 2 videos, the case of Oh Chung-sung.
Really?
He's the son of a North Korean general, part of the elite family of
Wait,
Pyongyang.
they legit can't go back?
And this guy was stationed at the DMZ and still chose
I
to
thought
flee.
if he allows it,
Still
it's going to
chose
be a bit...
defect to the south. He was shot 5 times by his comrades at the border.
Yeah, defecting is...
A South
Because, like,
Korean
what's your
surgeon
point? You
saved
either
him,
die...
And the South Korean doctor declared this 25-year-old
on the front line, or you
man
continue living in
the
Russia.
most unhealthy man
Because you
he had
can't go
ever
back
seen
to
in
North
his
Korea.
life. He was suffering from tuberculosis,
Why would you want to be living
hepatitis
in
B,
Russia? Are you fucking insane?
and his intestines were covered with parasitic worms. That was one example. If you
I
go
wonder
on
if there's
YouTube
going to be
and
like
you watch
advertisements for
interviews
those,
or
you know, those
documentaries
numbers that you
about
like
North
call to
Korean
surrender.
defectors,
I want to live hotline.
all
I
of
wonder
their
if
stories
there's
are
going to be
insane.
advertisements for that
So
in
to prove my
Korean,
point,
like
what I'm trying
leaflets
to
and
make in this
everything
video,
dropped.
I'm going to share clips from this
Might see a
interview
smartphone
done
for
by
the
the
first
YouTube
time.
channel
Shit,
Asian
would they even
Boss.
like
This
be
man
able
right
to
here
call?
is Lee Chol-un, a North Korean defector. The entire interview is 40 minutes long. I'll link it down below. But I'm going to read for you who this guy is, why he chose to defect,
Man.
and then I'm going to convince you why none of these North Korean soldiers currently in Russia are ever going to be allowed to return back to North Korea.
I mean,
So
they're
this
still
is the
going to
first
be
clip.
fighting
He's gonna
against
explain
Ukrainians on the
who he
front lines,
is.
so I don't know really how much...
I worked for the Ministry of State Security, which is the equivalent
You know what I mean?
to
Like,
the
this doesn't really
National
calm me
Intelligence
down.
Service in South Korea.
I
On
doubt they
September
know they're
18th,
not going to be returned back.
2016, I escaped North Korea.
And I doubt
via the
they're going to
Yellow Sea.
learn about it
It
in
took 1
time
day.
for them to not do
I
any
defected to
damage.
South Korea by swimming
So,
for about 8 hours through the ocean.
Man,
So
yeah, it's
you
not really
worked
making
for the
me
highest
calmer
intelligence
about the whole
agency
thing.
of North Korea.
Why are we still
which
zoning
makes you
between
part
nuclear
of the
countries?
elite,
I've got no
correct?
idea. I've got
I
no
don't
idea.
know if
If you
call
want,
myself that.
if you want
He doesn't want to
some
call
maybe
himself part of the
a
North
shred
Korean
of
elite.
positivity,
But
the
our
head of
global
Pentagon
audience
is
who
in
might
Kyiv
not
currently.
know a lot about North Korea
I'm hoping it
might
has
have a lot of
something to do
questions
with
for
the
you.
whole
He responds,
situation.
"Sure."
And I'm hoping some
Could you
moves
tell
are
us exactly
planned,
what
but
your
also I'm
role
not
in the
really too
agency
positive about it.
entailed?
I'm like,
The role of
I'm
the
holding
state
on.
security
I'm
officer is
grasping.
simple. It is to preserve the Kim dynasty.
Do you want to call home?
You know
Excuse
about
me, do you
spies,
fucking
right?
what?
They basically dispatch spies overseas and
Definitely.
arrest spies in North Korea.
You know what was the funniest thing
But
for me
their
though?
most important
Last
task
week,
is monitoring
when we learned
the
about North
Korean
Koreans
citizens.
coming to fight,
In other words,
how many
their job is to
Ukrainians I've
control the
seen
North Korean
posting
public
in
sentiment.
Korean,
Once they see any suspicious
urging
activities,
South Korea to give them
they
weapons.
will report them and weed out the
It was
dissidents.
such a weird thing.
The Ministry
Because
of
like I
State
come
Security
on
reports
Twitter
directly
and
to
I see
Kim
this
Jong-un.
post and I'm like, holy shit, did this
Surely
person's
not every
account
North
get
Korean
hacked?
can work their way
I'm
up
like,
to such a
why are they writing
high-ranking
in Korean?
position.
And then I go to translate and
For
it's like,
such
South Korea, you should give us
agencies, you
weapons
have to be
so we can
appointed,
defeat our common
as
enemy.
decreed by the
Like,
late
yeah,
Kim
okay,
Il-sung,
fair.
who died over 30 years ago. Basically, if your father works for the agency, you are supposed to
Man.
follow in his footsteps. That's why if a parent is a state security officer, about 80 to 90% of their children become one as well. So your whole family is from an elite background. That's correct. Do you mind briefly
'Cause I'm not
sharing
really-
what life is like?
Like I
for
understand
those
what
at the
he's trying
top?
to say with doing this, but you're
So
not
we are
getting
talking
this
about the top
message to
10%,
these men.
mostly who live in Pyongyang.
Plus, the first
Why
thing they're
wouldn't
going to
they
be
try to
exposed to
escape North Korea?
are
Well, it's
Russians.
because they have money. And
I'm pretty sure Russians are not
better
really going
in
to be telling them
Pyongyang
that,
than they
hey, you
would
know
in
what?
South Korea.
The rest of the
North
world
Korea is like
has
the Roman
smartphones,
Empire.
and you have the
Those at the
ability to
top
choose
can do whatever
what you
they
want to
want.
be in your life,
Because of the
and
social
you're not
hierarchy,
like
age
your
doesn't even
position is
matter.
not
People in higher ranks can
decided
talk
at the
down
moment of your
on much
birth.
older
No,
people,
Russians are going
and
to
you
be
just
like,
have
oh
to
yeah,
take
yeah,
it.
we're fighting
They would
the
have to
rotten
obey
West,
like
where
they did
everyone's
towards a king in
freezing
the old
and
days.
eating their pets.
North Korea is a great place for government officials. They live in
And
abundance,
I'm not really sure
and
they're
they can
going to be
eat
wanting
anything they
to
want.
run in the first place.
So the
Because like
ruling elite
I
of
don't know, you
Pyongyang
know, it's easy from
are
our
the
position to be
descendants
like,
of people
yeah,
loyal to
sure,
Kim Il-sung from the
you can't go back to
1950s.
North Korea, like the only option is to
They
live
have
in
a
Russia.
hereditary caste system.
Might as well just like
where if
run
your
away from
father
Russians, right?
was in
But
basically
if
the
Russians are
equivalent
the
of
only
the
source of
FSB or
information you
whatever,
have on this,
the children just get the same job.
I don't know.
So if you were born outside of the ruling elite, unless you're an attractive woman and you...
Wait. What do you have?
Americans live today. Dramatic music. This is how Americans live today, drinking coffee made from snow and living in tents and buying guns to kill each other, especially children. Some people complain about the guns. Living on the streets of modern-day America. These trees are full of snow. You'll see that there are no birds. They've been eaten by the people who live in these tents and corridors. This man awaits heroin. Their houses blow down very easily.
You know, how are you doing?
And they have to live in tents like these. This man will show us his tent with pride. He points to his items, but the camera notices his roof has fallen down. This is common in modern-day America. The American Red Cross supplies curtains and walls from material from North Korea. Again, there are no birds in the trees apart from these, which will be eaten on Tuesday. They are yummy. You can also eat the snow, of which there is plenty in the United States. These people lie huddled together with their dead friends in blue body bags, drinking coffee cups full of local snow. They are very good friends. They are together in adversity. In other parts of America, often disguised as foreign countries in Europe, people live the same terrible life. This man, a former Republican candidate for Oregon, is now having to get coffee made of snow from these trucks. Many Americans have to live like this daily and are entitled to one cup most days.
What is it with that?
The weather is freezing, but the hot snow tastes nice. That man's taking the blankets while they're looking.
Because previously they were like, look at these branches.
They are very grateful to their government.
There's so much snow on them.
Yummy.
약 300명의 사람들이 추위와 굶주림, 그로 인한 각종 질병으로 목숨을 잃는다.
They enjoy it immensely.
마자류에서도 집 없는
Meantime,
사람들이
in the major offices, factories and railway stations, people sit around under expensive adverts for Dell computers, drinking snow from plastic cups. People pass by, not caring, but they are all in the same situation.
That is actually a problem, though.
These telephones no longer work. There is no one to call. Some lucky people are allowed beds and floors indoors like this. This is how they live in modern-day America, huddled together, the poor, the cold, the lonely, and the homosexual.
And the homosexual.
The North Korean camera crew awoke this guy who was very cold and gave him some North Korean coffee and a blanket. Meantime, these people queued up for handouts from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and were each given a cake.
Okay, that was... Thank you, Taiwa. That was an interesting watch. Still waiting on USA to save Europe? No, I'm not waiting for USA. I'm hoping it comes from, well, Eastern Europe itself. I'm not really hoping USA does anything. Biden is being Biden. Kamala seems to be the same as him, so I'm not really trusting she's going to do much. And then we got Trump, who is worse than both of them combined. So not really too positive about the role of USA. I feel Americans are really willing to fuck up their own country at this point. I'm not sure why. It's an annoying thing to watch, really. But yeah. They're willing to sacrifice their own country, their own influence, their own, well, allies themselves, just for nothing. I have no fucking idea what they're doing. I don't know. I don't know what sort of idiots people have elected and why the situation is as it is, but it's stupid to watch from the outside, isn't it? Very similar to the Western Europe situation, though, talking about that, but because they also seem very willing to sacrifice a lot of Eastern Europe just to do nothing, really. I don't know. Not too positive about that. But yeah, I'm not waiting for USA to do it, of course not. I'm hoping it comes from countries we can rely on a bit more, which basically means I'm hoping that Eastern Europe itself does something. I'm hoping Poland wakes the fuck up finally. You're assuming Russians and North Koreans will communicate. The Russians refuse to learn even English. Imagine them learning Korean. And I strongly believe education in North Korea is nowhere near good to make them learn Russian as well. Shit, yeah, that too. Yeah, valid. I don't know how I was imagining that. Now that I think about it, I had the assumption they would have like translators or something. But yeah, proper. I kind of doubt that. I don't know how they're going to communicate. Proper thing to point out. Florida's freezing, really? North Korea is cold place. These vids are more like confessions. Ah, okay, that makes sense. Accuse them of doing it. Just like it's a stupid thing as to how much they are focused on the stupid snow. I don't know. So many times, snow. Look at them drinking snow. Look at them making coffee from the snow. Look at the snow on the branches. I'm still weirded out by that. Why? What's the matter with the snow on branches? Why is that a problem? Do they like religiously remove snow from trees there the second it falls down? So this is them, like they say you have snow on your branches, and it's like saying, hey, look at these primitives. Is that what it is? Is it like a status symbol or something? Why is that a problem? I'm truly not understanding it. Nighthawk, how are you doing? They joke about us having a clown as a president. Meanwhile, USA is the fucking circus at the moment. Absolutely. North Koreans will mostly be used in engineering roles and artillery crews, maybe. Manual demining teams. Digging trenches, fortifications, laying some mines. Yeah, stuff like that. Running over the minefields. Yeah, I assumed that too. Like less Russians to be thrown into meat waves. So you can spare a few months before having to conscript more Russians, right? So for Russia this is good, because why wouldn't you want to be saving as many of your people as possible, really? They need to be working at home and paying taxes for the country. It's not really doing too well when it comes to the financial situation in the first place. Hey, nice. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're learning about North Koreans coming to invade Europe at the moment. We were talking about the elections in Moldova. Let me see. I have to refresh this, and it's like it's a live stream. I'm not supposed to be refreshing it. 99.10% of votes counted. Currently, we are in the lead, my dudes. We are in the lead. We're doing fine. Okay. I'm hoping by the end of the stream we get to see the final result. But currently it's okay. Currently it's GG. Ukrainian soldiers, take them seriously. So better be prepared. Yeah, I think it's... The way I see it, they're not going to be some super soldiers, right? Absolutely. But like, even if you had 11k new Russian soldiers thrown into the front line, that would be deeply concerning, right? That's still a lot of new people to be digging the trenches, to be laying the mines, you know, to be creating death all over. It doesn't really matter how trained they are, because most of the soldiers that Russia already has are people that are not really, you know... It's not like they're fucking high skilled, my dudes. It's not like they're doing some jobs that require them to get proper training. Most of them just go there, shoot wherever they fucking can, and, you know, die in meat waves trying to get another meter. And they are managing so far to deal tremendous damage by doing just that. So even if these North Koreans are not really trained or whatever, it still is a big problem that they're coming. It's still a fucking big problem that they're coming, and that the Russian coalition is so much more useful than what we have in the West. So, I don't know. The whole thing with like minimizing it, and I feel like Jake Bro is doing it with this video too. Like minimizing the danger of this. Because, like, what does it matter to anyone that they can't return to North Korea? I don't know if that's important to anyone. It's not like they're going to learn about this, and it's not like they're going to defect. It's not like they know how to. Probably better trained than Russians. They do have... Yeah. I would expect that. I would expect that. It's not really hard to have better training than Russians, to be fair. But yeah.
You can marry in, you're not getting in. There is zero social mobility in the North Korean caste system. So this man always had food to eat. This man always lived in comforts. This man always had a good salary. So why did he choose to defect? Here's the next clip. I met a South Korean for the first time in 2007. The South Korean Red Cross sent rice over to North Korea via boat. Because of his job,
I see, but like they're not going to have these types of experiences in Russia.
I was able to interact with the South Korean captain and the crew. After learning about South Korea, I was surprised. It was different from the South Korea I thought I knew. I had been told my entire life that South Koreans were starving and ragged, and was a colony of the United States with no freedom. This is what every North Korean man is told from birth. That despite how difficult their lives are, it's worse in South Korea under the oppressive rule of the fascist United States.
USA!
That's how we were educated. After graduating from university, I got stationed in South Hwahei province, where we could get direct access to South Korean television. So because of his position, he had basically a TV antenna, and he was allowed to watch South Korean television shows. As I watched Korean TV shows, I came to realize that the world was changing faster than I had imagined. And on August 15th, 2016, I watched the former South Korean president speak.
Like, I'm understanding where he is coming from, and I think when you talk about like comparisons, if he made a video about North Korea specifically, I think it would make sense. If he was like, hey, we're going to do a video explaining to you the issues with North Korea, right? GG, alright, fine. But like in the context of Ukraine, in the context of Russian invasion on Ukraine, I don't really think any of this matters. You know, it's not like they're going to be, I don't know, there's going to be some South Korean in the trenches with them and they're going to be able to speak to them and to learn about their worldview. You know, it's not going to happen. This will not really have an impact. They will refuse to surrender and fight till death because of the language barrier with our guys. Like it already happens with Nepali, degenerate so shit. But yeah, I understand that too. I understand that too. It's such a stupid thing, though. And an effective way to do warfare, for sure. But I don't know. It's like they've created a coalition specifically of like just a bunch of countries where life is worthless, and that's that, isn't it? I don't know, imagine just the idea of sending 11,000 of your soldiers into what is certain death, because, yeah, they can't communicate with anyone, they can't surrender if they fucking want to surrender. It's not like the option is going to be presented to them by Russians, you know? You just choose to send them into death, regardless, and they're just sent into death, and it's just, it is what it is. I don't know, it's such a weird thing to me. Let it burn. I mean parts of the world, yeah.
On the National Liberation Day
I wouldn't be against seeing
she
certain
said, the people of North Korea can come to South Korea at any time. The new world is waiting for you. I was totally struck by what she said.
Oh.
It was then that I made up my mind and decided to come to South Korea. So this man had been brainwashed from birth, and he lived a comfortable, privileged lifestyle. He was in the top 10%
truly
of
like
North Korean
World
society.
War II tactics.
And all it
Y'all
took
will need to
was
drop
watching some
pamphlets.
South Korean TV shows,
Print them
meeting a
in
South
Korean, drop
boat
pamphlets
captain,
around.
and
Hey
seeing
guys,
the president of South Korea say,
we have
"You can come
electricity
here anytime you
around
want."
here. Guys,
And
we
this
got
dude
internet.
jumped in the ocean and swam for 8 hours
Call
to
this
escape
number.
his family and his
You'll
country.
need to get an operator.
So
on
let's
the
get into how serious of a threat to the Kim regime this is.
surrendering hotline.
Allowing
You'll need to get an
10,000 North
operator in
Korean
Korean.
men out of the country for the first time. During your time in the agency, are there any memorable incidents you can recall?
We
The
fight
most
against a
memorable
nuclear
incident
country
for me
33
was
times our size,
our
3 times our
investigation into the
population, having
underground
the help
church.
of other degenerate
In
dictatorship
North
countries.
Korea,
No, absolutely.
the
Oh, my
Kim
man.
lineage established the Juche.
And especially with like North Korea joining in, and then with China joining in, and then with Iran being on their side, right? All of this poses a direct threat to Europe itself, to basically every single NATO member right now. It's baffling. NATO has a fucking trained military. They have a trained army. They could be sending in one part of this well-trained professional military to fix this, and they're not doing it. It's baffling to watch, truly. Which Western countries? Germany, France, USA. I would definitely count into pussy factors. Germany, France, USA. Yeah. Who else? I think the Brits have been almost okay-ish lately. Not strong enough, but also not as bad. Not as bad as certain other players. That's that. But to be fair, though, I'm really salty about Poland. I'm really salty about Poland not doing shit. I'm still salty about that. Like, I don't know, you're fucking Poland. You're okay with Russia practically winning? Are they insane? They know Russian troops are gonna be at their border. Why would you be okay with that? The fuck makes them just be like, yeah, it's fine. We're going to block the border with Ukraine. It's fine. It's chill. Are you fucking insane? What's wrong with them? I don't know what's wrong with them. It's the betrayal coming from what I see as proper parts of Europe, so it hurts more. Because you expect it from the Westerners. You expect them to be cocks. You don't really expect the East to be full of cucks too. USA is the biggest one. I'm really salty about Germany. I'm really fucking salty about Germany because I feel Germans have been slowing down all of the important steps that we needed to be taking. And I'm feeling especially lately that Scholz is just fully pro-Russian. I'm feeling Scholz has abandoned any idea of what he had previously of like we're going to be supporting Ukraine, just we're not going to be escalating ourselves, you know, we want someone else to escalate and then we're going to follow. But lately I feel Scholz has gone completely into pro-Russian territory. Germans need to go back to their roots. I mean, to be fair, they did get burned, so I understand if they don't want to do that. It's already fucking 3-0 lead in Belarus versus Poland in the Russian drone shooting contest. Absolutely. Absolutely. And even that, oh man, I'm so salty over that. I'm so fucking salty over that because, like, have you tried to talk to Polish people about it? Because I've started a few conversations with them on Twitter about this, and they're such cucks when it comes to it. They make so many excuses for that. You know how salty I am for that? Like, don't know. Just being like, yeah, well, we can't shoot it down. What do you mean you can't shoot it down? What do you mean you're not allowed to shoot it down? Yes, you are allowed to shoot it down. It's your fucking territory. You're okay with your own territory being used by Russia as it pleases, and you're like, yeah, well, it just happens. No, it doesn't just happen. The fuck is that? Oh no, that's wild to me. It's minimizing it to the amount of you remember Hassan saying that like Greece and Turkey are having dogfights in the sky every once in a while? It reminds me of that, where he made a whole video and he was basically like, yeah, well, it's okay if like another plane goes into your airspace. It just happens sometimes. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It literally doesn't. It's not a normal thing. Are you fucking insane? Poland might think that entering Ukraine could pull Belarus in too, so they want to keep the aid on the down low. Yeah, but like, you see, I think that's a bullshit idea. Not a bullshit idea from you, bullshit idea from Poland. I think if Poland thinks like that, I think they're idiots. Because if Russia wins, they have troops on your border. And Belarus, of course, is joining the warfare if it happens, a war with NATO. Belarus is not going to, betray Russia? It's a vassal state. It can't go against Putin. So literally the only outcome you can be seeing is something worse than what you have now. I don't know. I don't know. Plus with like Belarus sending in immigrants, pushing immigrants over the Polish border and everything, why would you not want to solve that? Why would you be just okay with letting Russia win? Do you think that's not going to be happening more? Like, oh, Russia is gonna win in Ukraine and then what? Russia is going to stop killing people in Syria? Do you think that's going to happen? It's not going to happen. You're still going to be having a bunch of refugees trying to come over to Europe. I don't know. Not even protect their own airspace? Yeah, that too. Adolf and Heinrich would not take the shit. I mean... I don't know, man. I'm hoping we stop taking the shit too. Having patriots and shit and letting fucking drone into your country like you're fucking Moldova for half an hour. Half an hour that drone was in the Polish airspace, observed by 3 different stations. Half an hour, 30 minutes. And they just allowed it. They're like, yeah, fine, all right. Sure, you can use our airspace. Are you fucking insane? I don't know. In any normal country, there would be a reason to get pissed the fuck off, alright? And they just allowed it, and it wasn't even the first time that they allowed it. And then previously they tried to hide the evidence, and then later they found the drone crashed, so they had to admit that the drone actually did enter the territory, which is also, by the way, why I'm not buying into the idea of that S-300 rocket being Ukrainian. Because Poland has shown that they're cocks, and that they're willing to lie to protect Russia. I'm not trusting a word coming out of their mouth at this moment. Like, I ain't trusting shit. Until we get like actual proper evidence of that rocket being Ukrainian, I'm not trusting it. You're lying to protect Russia usually, and now I'm supposed to be like, oh yeah, this time you didn't lie. Bullshit. Just bullshit. And yo, Tokanita, how are you doing? How is the counting ongoing? I have to refresh it again, just to make sure I didn't miss something. 99.14%, okay. We're still in the lead. We're still in the lead. Okay, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. We can breathe. By the way, talking about this, I don't know how the newspapers in your country have dealt with reporting on this. We had newspapers in Croatia saying that Moldova voted against, wanting to become a part of European Union, and they reported on it like yesterday evening. Yesterday evening, they made headlines as if the voting was already done. How stupid is that? Who approves of that? Who the fuck goes, yeah, you know what, it's okay. Yeah, I'm sure the result isn't going to change in the last, 10% of votes being counted. When it's already such a close result, I'm sure it's not going to change. You can just release the news to the public. Stupid. The state of journalism is just in absolute trash. In absolute trash. I saw our little bros and sisters fighting Russian propaganda by voting. Oh, I was so happy about that too. But there are reports that a lot of people have been paid to vote a certain way. So I do wonder what happens after the elections when it comes to that. I actually wonder if anything can happen. What do you do? Is there a way to punish people who vote a certain way because they're paid to? How would you even know? Unless they tell you themselves. It's such a messed up thing.
Ideology.
What do you even do about that?
The official state religion. It states that
the entire European Union would break away into certain factions. I mean,
because this ideology is
already happened previously in wars.
You're not
but yeah,
allowed
definitely.
to believe in God.
We know which side Hungary would be going to, and I feel the Cox would follow along with Hungary. So I'm seeing Germans definitely going the same way. I'm seeing Austria going the same way. Oh, I'm seeing France and Italy resisting it. I do wonder what would happen there. Poland, though, would be having a hard fucking time. Poland would be having a hard fucking time. I don't know what they would be deciding on. I'm hoping they would be choosing the right side, but at the same time, they like eating shit recently, so I'm not sure. But, yeah, it's always been... Because the alliance itself is not so stable. In big part because we never implemented processes which are supposed to make it more like one entire whole, if that makes sense. Because currently what we have, for example, is Hungary being able to weaken European Union and NATO both. So both of them are getting fucked from the inside because of what Hungary is doing. Previously, what we had was, for example, Germany making decisions on behalf of all the other European countries, and also fucking us in that behalf. So Merkel fucking up the thing with immigrant crisis, and also Merkel fucking up the thing with Nord Stream 2 being pushed. Even though the entirety of Eastern Europe was against the deal, she managed to push for it anyways. She managed to get it built, right? We never really figured out a way to kind of balance the power in a way. So it makes sense if there was some large type of a conflict, especially in a situation where, we don't have a proper defense organized or whatever, in big part because certain countries have been stopping the development of it. We are likely going to be breaking into multiple factions. And the same danger happens to NATO too. Because right now, what do you have in NATO? You have USA being like, oh yeah, I don't know if I'm going to defend countries that Russia attacks. Trump himself going, no, we're not going to defend anyone. Russia can do whatever it wants, right? And what you have then, you had, I think it was Germans too, the German politician being like, yeah, we're not sure if USA would defend the Baltics. And then we're not sure if we would defend the Baltics if USA doesn't. So there's cracks forming, right? And then you have Hungary being like, oh, if Russia attacks us, we will not make a mistake of defending ourselves. So you have cracks forming, and then of course in a situation of a larger war breaking out, you have Baltics being like, fuck, I don't know who I can trust. Like, do I hope USA saves me? Or do I try to form a different alliance with maybe Poland, for example? Maybe going for Finland and Sweden to kind of, figure out where I'm safer. Because you're not safe in NATO itself if NATO is crumbling. So yeah, it's a sad thing because we could have easily just kept it strong and made smarter decisions and had a stable coalition of countries actually being a deterrent and actually protecting each other, but we just chose to eat shit anyways.
In North Korea. So if you get
it's
caught
a disappointment, really.
going to church or reading a Bible, you could end up in a political prison camp. In a village called Changdong in South Hwahei province, there was an incident that had been going on since 2007. It involved around 30 underground churchgoers. In North Korea, every household must have a portrait of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il on the wall. But at that underground church, they removed the portraits and replaced them with a cross and taught people the words of the Bible. They got caught by an informant working for my agency. What happened to those people? What happened to those Christians? Those caught were obviously either executed or ended up in a prison camp.
Oh shit.
What if they're... I'm just going to pause, guys. Christianity is a capital offense in North Korea. Reading the Bible is a capital offense in North Korea. This is who the Russians are partnering with. But this is important.
Also, I don't know if you've
there
seen...
Are no dissidents? That's not the
Navalnaya
case.
said
There's a saying
if she
in North
returns
Korea,
to Russia, she will go to the elections
inside
as a presidential
is
candidate.
Of
And of course, it's all over my fucking For You page, because whenever she gets another stupid interview to be useless in,
North Korean society is
everyone reports on it.
Hierarchical society that's divided
I wonder
into
if there's a way
classes.
to like mute certain words
These
on
are
Twitter,
the
because I
core
would just
class,
mute her.
the middle class, and at the bottom, there is the hostile class. They call the poorest 90% of their population the hostile class. These are people who need to be monitored and controlled. So let's reflect on this interview from a North Korean defector saying that anybody who reads the Bible or identifies as a Christian, they're going to be executed. But everybody on their family tree, on their level, will be sent to a political concentration camp.
Capital offense.
North
Yeah, I can't
Korea
even
has a
blame him.
3-generation purge policy, so
Like, have you ever
everyone
met a
on the
Christian?
level above their family tree and all of their
I do
children,
throw them in
all
prison.
those people go to concentration camps. Are there any churches or Bibles in Russia that might contaminate or corrupt these 10,000 North Korean men
No.
heading to Ukraine? Are there any televisions? Are there any smart...
What is he doing? Does he think these people are going to get like a Bible in fucking Russian, and then on the way they're going to be like, oh yeah, let me learn Russian so I can read the stupid Bible? Like, do Russians have Bibles in Korean? They don't. How would they manage to be contaminated by something they can't even understand? And then even if they do get to watch TV, the only TV they're going to be watching is Russian propagandists. So shit like that. That's not going to contaminate them. Like, do you think they're going to be watching this woman and they're going to be like, yeah, let me learn Russian just to understand what this troll is saying? And then they're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm sure a woman this ugly must be telling lies. So I'll go and do some research myself, try to figure out. Let me call the other side, let me call the Ukrainians to ask them if this is true. How does he think they're going to get contaminated? They won't be able to understand any of this shit.
Не то, что рассказывают на CNN, скажем так.
I'm not buying any of this. I'm not fucking buying any of this. And even the whole thing with like, oh, Christianity is a capital offense in North Korea. It's not like it matters on a battlefield in Russia. Even if they see Russians carrying around crosses and shit, and they learn to pray with them, it's not like they're planning to come back to North Korea later anyways. I'm not getting the point of the entire video. I'm missing something. I'm missing something. His premise seems to be based on North Koreans knowing more things that they can possibly know. One of them being the Russian language itself.
Финансирование, снабжение оружием и прочее Украины со стороны большого, значительного числа стран и большого количества аудитории, мы-то знаем, что это так. Но раз это признает Госдеп, то это просто молодцы. В самой Америке они нас прикрыли. Почему? Потому что мы электорально значимые медиа. Понимаете? А мы-то вещали на Америку. В Америке. Имея электорально значимое влияние на мнение людей. Ну, то есть люди нас смотрят и говорят, ай-яй-яй, как же так, я вот этого не знал. Они, конечно, от этого обалдели, от того, что они нас в дверь, мы в окно, они окна законопатили, мы форточку, они форточки все закрыли, мы в трубу пролезли. Ну, сейчас будем переть из-под паркета. Что делать? Потому что задач нам никто не менял.
So yeah, basically I saved this video just because she's bragging about influencing the USA elections. And I was salty about her bragging about it while USA is still, you know, pretending it's not going on. And now I'm salty about this man expecting that North Koreans are going to get contaminated by Russian books in Russian and Russian TV in Russian on the front line where they're likely not getting access to books nor TV.
Phones are there Starlink terminals and internet where a Russian soldier for fun might show one of these North Korean men a video of the South Korean president speaking about how
Really? On the fucking front line. On the fucking front line, you think a Russian is going to get on his phone and look into the speeches of the South Korean president? You think that's what Russians have the brains to do? Yeah, let me go and let me look up the South Korean president videos and then let me show this to this North Korean man, despite the fact that I don't know Korean, so I don't know what a South Korean president is gonna be saying in the first. Why would any of this happen? This is making no sense to me. Why would that happen? Why, instead of showing them this, would they just not show them more videos of North Korean propaganda? Why would they be showing him the South Korean speech videos? Who the fuck would even look that up? Why would you look that up? I'm not getting any of that. Are we assuming? Is he imagining that Russian soldiers in this scenario also want North Koreans to like stop fighting and run to Ukraine? Because I feel that's the only scenario where I can see something like this might actually be happening if they want these North Koreans to leave, which I'm pretty sure is not going to happen at all, because why the fuck would you want to be losing more meat to throw in front of the guns? I don't see it.
Life of a North Korean soldier. And then there's Korean culture. I'm pretty confident if a North Korean man, once he gets to Russia, is able to watch Squid Games on Netflix, his head is going to explode from not understanding.
They're going to have TVs to watch Netflix on.
How for his entire life has he been told one thing, and Russians have these magical devices called smartphones, capable of streaming content of their race, their ethnic
I'm gonna fucking cry.
Speaking their language. And it's incomprehensible.
I'm gonna fucking cry about it.
Everything they've been told their entire lives. This
is a problem. You think Buryats have like smartphones and they're watching Netflix on them while they're going to the front line? You think that's what's going to happen?
I'm going to recommend the movie Paul Gasari.
How would any of this
happen?
This is
from 1985, and Kim Jong-il, this is Kim Jong-un's father, abducted a director from Hong Kong
making me want to drink more
forced him against his will to produce Kim Jong-il wanted his own Godzilla movie. I'll link this down below. Everything about North Korea just gets weirder and weirder the more you dig deeper and deeper. I'm also going to link this video down below by Real Life Lore. This is a fantastic channel.
A bit of the mark
how
is
North Korea finally made it impossible to escape the country. It's very difficult to get out of North Korea.
Soft way to say
so
it.
the fact that Kim Jong-un
Soft way. I would call him
these
deluded on this
10,000 men
specific
go,
issue. And I love this
he
man
knows
usually. And he's
they're
doing
never
an
coming
incredible
back.
job with
They're
fundraising
never
for
coming
Ukraine
back
and
alive.
everything. It's just that
every North Korean man who is just sent to
nothing
the
of
war
this is
zone
going to happen.
is there to die.
Nothing of
to
this
be
is going
used
to
up as
happen,
cannon
and nothing
fodder.
of this is actually a
And I don't
possibility.
think Kim Jong-un can do this on a larger scale. He's not going to be sending 100,000,
As far as I know, so
300,000,
far,
or 500,000.
there have been several
He's
videos
sending
published of
just
them.
10,000. Because
It
it's a
has been
propaganda
confirmed
victory
by
for the
South
Russians.
Korea,
This is
and
what
it
Putin
has been
wants.
confirmed by Ukraine itself
And what
too.
the North Koreans and the
So yeah, it
Russians
seems
want
that I think
is for everyone to
was
panic.
Budanov who said it.
For everyone to
By
scream,
November,
it's the
they
beginning
should
of
start
World War
fighting
III.
in Ukraine.
North Korea has entered the war. On paper, they have like a 7 million
I do
man
think it's very
army.
likely, to be honest.
Ukraine should
I
give
do
up.
think it's very likely.
Ukraine should negotiate.
North Korea does
Ukraine
want
should
an
give Russia
alliance
what
to
they
be
want
made with
today
Russia. So
before the Mongol hordes arrive in Europe. So
I watched a
this
lot of his
headline,
videos, but
US
this one is a
House
bit
Intel
silly.
chair,
Yeah, it's definitely
North
a big
Korean
reach.
troops in Ukraine must
It's
be a red
definitely a
line for
big,
the
big,
United
big
States.
reach.
This is from
I'm not
Republican
seeing any
House
of his
member
predictions.
US Mike Turner. He's the chairman of the House Intel Committee. He has been a fantastic
Legit
supporter
everything
of
here.
Ukraine.
It seems just like
And this is the
Hey,
appropriate
yeah,
response to
Mustard.
put out
Thank you for the sub. Thank you, thank you,
statements,
thank
to
you.
put out a letter.
None
People
of
are
the
asking,
things
why
he's mentioning
isn't Joe
here seem
Biden
to be likely to
talking
happen.
about this? Why isn't Kamala Harris talking about this? Why is there almost no reaction from the United States? And it's because we're having an election in 15 days.
That too, by the way.
There will be a reaction.
Can we comment on that? Can we comment on how retarded it is that USA has the chance to stop this? Which I'm absolutely certain would get them not just a better overall standing globally, but also it would make the Dems in power seem stronger. Because right now, one of Trump's claims is that, oh, the Democrats are doing nothing to stop this war. If I get into power, I'm going to stop it immediately. Just give Ukraine enough so they can actually do something. Why are we not doing it? Why are we waiting till the election is done? Literally making the Dems seem weaker as every day passes. How is it benefiting anyone? How is this whole thing with being passive and allowing an ally of USA get butchered? How is this helping Biden? How is this helping Democrats? I am not understanding that. Wouldn't you want to be making more decisive decisions right now? Making big, strong, important decisions right now, so the effects of them can be seen right before the election, and you can kind of ride on that power wave to get more votes. Wouldn't you want to be doing that? Why would you not do that? I don't see that. Why would you not want this to end? Just send them humongous rockets, let them hit everything inside Russia they want to hit. You know it's going to have a big, tremendous effect immediately. Why would you not want it? I am not understanding this. How is this helping? Probably afraid of losing anti-war voters. But to be fair, the anti-war voters are idiots. And they are already not voting Democrats. We already don't have them. It's like with the Palestine crowd. Hamas crowd specifically, not even the Palestine crowd, because the Palestine crowd has some normal people within them. But when you talk of Hamas supporters, which tend to be also Russia supporters, which tend to be pretending to be the anti-war part, but they're just eating shit. But they're already lost. You already don't have them. These people are already deranged. These people voting for third parties or voting for Trump just to, piss on the Democrats. You already lost them. You already don't need that shit. You're never going to get that shit. So why not just do a thing that makes your side seem stronger? I'm not seeing it. USA is helping the big bosses on top of their pay. Yeah, but you see, why would that not be, how to say this? Why would USA not help itself monetarily and financially by strengthening their global alliance? Because I'm not saying that. If you want to be having a better financial situation and you want to be having more cash money and you want your industry to be having more business, therefore for your country to have more cash money, what you would want to be having is a strong alliance of states that rely on you and that look to you for guidance and for help, right? You would want to see a war happening in Europe and go, this is a chance for me to send them my strongest weapons. And then you send them the strongest weapons and they defend themselves, strengthening the alliance, strengthening your position itself, ensuring your allies do want to depend on you because they know you will be protecting them. It makes USA stronger. But what they're doing instead is being little pussy bitches, which is just weakening everything they have built globally so far. I am not seeing how this benefits them at all. This is directly threatening them. Just idiotic decision making. Hey, your rebound. I've been at work mostly. Pausa. What did you miss? North Korean propaganda? You missed North Korean propaganda. You missed, yeah, I was bitching about USA. You missed bitching about USA. I think that's that. Jake Bro thinking that North Koreans are going to come to Russia and then they're going to read the Bible in Russian somehow and then they're going to get converted to Christianity, Orthodox Christianity, Russian version, and then they're, I don't know, be cast out by North Korean society, even though they're already going to be cast out because they got sent out and now they can't return. I'm really not figuring out where he's going with this video. In case Donk USA cucks, Poland can't into our defense. Oh yeah, that's true. Poles are also cunts.
After 15 days. But North Korea is doing this as a provocation. They're trying to get people to panic here in America so people will vote for Donald Trump. Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un...
See, that's true. Fuck, I'm so angry over this. But it's like, hey, let's do this. Let's do this as a way to get people panic and to vote for Donald Trump, right? Because the idea is, currently, Biden is in power, right? Under Biden, the situation deteriorates. So North Korea has joined the fighting. This makes Biden seem weak. So what we're going to do is like throw more forces into the war, so Biden seems weak and people vote for Trump instead because he seems stronger. And in that situation... And I understand Biden is senile, so he may not be able to think about this enough. But when it comes to the rest of the people around him, how are they not understanding that a way to make Biden seem less weak and more in control is just to blow the fuck out of every single soldier invading Ukraine? How is he not seeing that? He's losing votes. He's directly losing votes. It's such a stupid thing. I don't know why he's choosing to be passive on this. There's literally nothing he's gaining by being passive. He's just losing votes to fucking Trump because Trump is making himself to be the peacemaker. Everyone's so scared of me and I'm going to be a deterrent, me myself. You're literally giving him propaganda fuel. And that it is just that. We're getting nothing from it. I don't know. I wish American government was owned by large military corporations, because then they would actually know it's in their interest to be sending strong weapons to Ukraine. But they're not doing that. Topic for Trump. When I was president, there were no troops of North Korea in Ukraine. That too. They would not dare to send them, he's going to say. They would not dare to send these troops into Ukraine if I was the president. Because they would know I'm going to blow the shit out of their asses. All the while Biden is like, oh, North Koreans in Ukraine? Deeply concerned. I send my support to the people of Ukraine. Yes, that's that. That's basically that. Let me write you a letter. TLDR for Moldova elections. Let me see the results of the referendum right now. The referendum is likely going to pass. Yes, the referendum is likely going to pass, so this is getting into the constitution. Now, relatively bad when it comes to presidential elections. because there's going to be a second round of presidential elections, and the opposition votes, if you count them all together, they could overpower. They could win. So for the second round, they're going to be uniting under one candidate, which is going to be a big problem because all of them united under one candidate could as well be having more votes than Sandu currently has. So that's a problem. That's a problem. Because like Sandu had 49% of the votes. The second dude had 25, and he's pro-Russian. Referendum results look bad. Yeah. Yesterday they did, but they've been counting the diaspora votes this entire morning, and diaspora is very into favor of entering European Union, in big part because a lot of diaspora voters are working in European Union itself already. Some of the diaspora votes are from Russia. I don't know if they already counted those or if they are going to count them. I don't really know how the list goes, to be honest. But I do know that the ones from Russia were the most concerning ones. Specifically, they had, I think, Moscow and St. Petersburg were where people were able to vote. So these votes were like concerning. But when it comes to the rest of diaspora voters, we kind of expected a more pro-European Union stance. I'd rather see Moldova noping out. You guys not tired enough having Serbs and Hungarians? Serbs are not in the European Union. But no, I would get Moldova in. I would also get Georgia in. I would get both of them in. Because I'm really concerned about them weakening Europe itself by bouncing between Europe and Russia. And being in Europe, I feel is a way to, being in European Union, I feel is a way to kind of push them more towards the European Union side, as long as they manage to avoid the Hungarian scenario, obviously, which is going to be rather hard. But it feels like it's more of a clear line to draw on where Russia is not allowed to go and where we can actually control the situation a lot more. So when it comes to them like paying for the voters, I feel in European Union something like that would be much harsher investigated and hopefully punished than it is going to be in Moldova right now. You know what I mean? They got Bosnia voting too. Yeah, exactly like HDZ. Exactly like HDZ. We could exchange Moldova with Hungary? Yeah, that too. Serbia and Ukraine are the only countries on the Danube that aren't in the European Union. To be fair, I don't think Serbia deserves to go into European Union, but also I think if a referendum like this were to be held in Serbia today, I think they would have at least 60% of people voting no. So yeah. What can Georgia do in European Union without Ukraine? Even Hungary with NATO is shitting on their side. Georgia could let down there without Ukraine. I think Georgia, it would feel more safe in that case. That's true. I do think Georgia needs European Union a lot more than Moldova currently needs it. And I definitely feel it deserves it way more than Hungary at the moment deserves it. It is going to be interesting to see how they vote, by the way. They have voting in a week, so pay close attention to that. It's going to be really, really, really interesting because the Russians do have a grasp on the country for, quite some time. So if they manage to pay for, I think Maya Sandu is saying 300,000 votes in Moldova. If they manage to get 300,000 voters in Moldova paid, who the fuck knows what they're able to do in Georgia? So, yeah, definitely concerning. Pay close attention to it. Hey, Letika. What's going on here? We're currently talking about the referendum results in Moldova. We were watching a video on North Korean soldiers invading Ukraine. What else were we doing? Oh, bitching about USA. And then bitching about Poland too. Doing that. But yeah, overall, when it comes to the entire situation with the elections in Moldova, not as bad as I expected, to be completely honest. Not as bad as I expected. I don't know if you watched their previous voting results. I don't know if you saw that video. It's a really, really good one. I have to find it. There's translations in English. There's subtitles in English offered. And it's some journalists who managed to infiltrate a group of voters that were being paid by Russia. So they actually managed to go into a bus with them and they managed to record entire conversations, got text messages confirming that they're going to be paid for voting a certain way and everything. So Russia has been doing this for quite a while. You might remember Shor, the politician turned criminal in Moldova who is behind this entire operation. So definitely a very, very concerning thing to be watching. And Moldova still managed to, barely, but it managed to pull out of this grasp. So when it comes to Georgia, I'm truly hoping something similar happens there. The situation there is really, really bad. It's really, really deteriorating. They did have huge protests in support of European Union this weekend. So I'm hoping the momentum continues, but also, you know, with Russians in power, it's a question of how much elections are going to matter at all. After Moldova joins European Union, we will build the first European Union army base in Moldova. From your Twitch message straight to the ears of God, my dude. I'm hoping we have army bases in every single Eastern country in Europe. Just genuinely every single one. I want military bases. I want huge military bases. I want a fuckload of professionally trained soldiers there. Just to kind of feel, you know, safer than what we can feel right now. Because right now I ain't feeling safe. Pulling out is a recommended course of action.
They're in love with each other. They wrote each other beautiful letters back in 2018.
Thank you. My today's hairstyle is...
they now have a bromance.
I got up from the
Donald
bed.
Trump only says and speaks nice things about Kim Jong-un, who, by the way, murders anyone who identifies as Christian in his
I
country.
was drinking a lot on Saturday. Always
Well, let's
slept the
just keep
entire
going.
Sunday. Got up in the morning.
yes,
was
this
like,
is a
oh
political
shit, I had to
stunt.
stream.
What difference on the battlefield is 10,000 North Korean soldiers going to make? And if Russia's...
Oh wait, Belarus. I want Belarus to get rid of Luka and join NATO. You know what problem Belarus has? And I know that this is like... When I express this opinion on Twitter, I get fights. And I'm feeling that my existence on Ukrainian Twitter has made me rather salty about certain things that when I try to be salty about in English, I get somehow negative responses. And the specific one of them is Tsikhanouskaya being the darling on the West. I feel Tsikhanouskaya in Belarus is basically what Navalnaya is in Russia. In a way that they're both like in West seen as opposition, but they're not really doing anything to make their home countries get better, right? Because Tsikhanouskaya, she does interviews and she does speeches and she goes around, but she's not really doing anything, is she? She's not really... You know what I mean? She's not really fixing the situation. She's not really that active. Her husband is in the Belarusian prison and she's just around. She's just around. Oh, government in exile. What does it matter if you're not doing shit as the government in exile? Doesn't really matter, does it? So when it comes to Belarus getting rid of Luka and choosing a new president, I'm not really feeling it's going to happen. In big part because I don't really know if Belarusians today want to get rid of Luka in the first place, or if they're just kind of complicit. Because my feel is that they are rather complicit. My feel is that they are chill with the whole situation. I don't know how much they want to be getting rid of him. I don't know how much we are looking at the situation in Belarus and saying Belarus needs to get rid of Lukashenko and it's going to be good. I don't know how much this is the same shit people do when they look at Russia and say, oh, Russians just need to get rid of Putin and they're going to be a normal country again. You know what I mean? Like, do they want to get rid of Putin in the first place? Why are you saying they should get rid of Putin and be normal? Maybe this is what they want to do. Maybe this is their plan. Maybe this is exactly what they intend to do. I don't know. Military training starts at age 14 in North Korea. Oh, yeah, they have a lot of soldiers to be thrown into the meat grinder, so they're GG about that. I don't have such hair on Mondays. What am I doing wrong? Maybe having less than a centimeter of hair. Let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. I think there should be a law so that everyone must have like longer hair, because I think it looks rather hot. Or a beard, because I feel it's like equal levels of hotness. It's like you either have longer hair or you have longer beard, and both look really, really hot. But it should be law. It should be law. It should be punishable by law to be like a little baby. Good old grift of being opposition in a country, but only doing PR work in Western countries. Absolutely. Like, I can't trust her. I cannot trust Tikhanovskaya. I don't know. I'm not feeling she's doing shit. There were pretty big demonstrations after last elections. They do have a bit more balls than Russians do. Sure, absolutely. But, like, how much are these demonstrations actually the representation of what the majority of the country wants? Because it's not reaching the point of it being, you know, Ukraine itself and starting a revolution. It's not reaching the point of a revolution. There are big demonstrations, but you know who else had big demonstrations? Serbia did. Serbia also had big demonstrations after the last elections. But like Serbia overall, Serbian culture overall, it's absolutely okay with Vučić. It's chill with Vučić, right? Hungary had big demonstrations against Fidesz. Hungary is okay with Fidesz. They did have big demonstrations from people who are not Fidesz voters. Everyone else was chilling in their homes because they voted for Fidesz. They got them into the winning position. Nothing else matters to them. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know how much I'm trusting that Belarus as a society itself is truly against this situation with Lukashenko. It's like when you talk to Russians online and they're like, oh yeah, well, there were so many protests against the mobilization. Did they do something? No. Then it obviously wasn't the majority of people, or close to the majority. Close to 1% even, if you look at how many people protested on the streets. Like, yeah, they had big demonstrations, but not big when you compare it to the amount of people that support the current policy. So do we really want to be trusting that the society is going to become normal if Putin croaks? I don't really know. Oh, Tito Sexual, it was a meme on the stream because no one knew anything about Croatia when I started streaming. It was like a big thing. I was playing games. I was playing Paladins specifically. My first year of streaming was just me playing Paladins, maybe even longer. No one knew anything about Croatia, and then I would mention Tito and they would be like, ah, yeah, Tito. Because they just knew about him as a meme, and that was that. So I would be using Tito as a way to kind of ease people into learning about Balkan politics. Tsar Peter I of Russia instituted a beard tax as part of an effort to bring Russian society in line with Western European models. So they had to shave off their beards. And there's some of these people from Western countries in Russia, so not enough for it to matter, I guess. Or they ideologically aligned, don't they? Vučić called Putin thanking him for the cheap energy. Yes, just after Vučić was in Dubrovnik to sign the declaration in support of Ukraine. Comes to the piece of shit. You know how big of a deal that is, by the way? Have you guys been following those news about Zelensky coming to Dubrovnik? Here it is. Zelensky was in Dubrovnik. It's a big piece of news because Well, first because Croatia was the one hosting this conference, so Croatia, hell yeah. But also in big part because Dubrovnik was our city that was actually attacked by Serbs during the war, right? So Dubrovnik symbolically matters a lot to the Croatian population, right? Vucic was here. And we're talking about Vucic, who is the right-hand man of Milosevic. Vucic, who in 1990s said Dubrovnik is never going to be a Croatian city. And it is a Croatian city because we managed to defend it. He came to Dubrovnik to meet with Zelensky. He signed a declaration on support of Ukraine. And then he goes and he calls Putin to thank him for the cheap energy he's getting. How idiotic. How idiotic. What a little traitor. 1968 in Czechoslovakia, where first few days a lot of protests happened, but a year later almost nothing even because own army were able to shoot the Czechs. Not really happening in the foreground. In background, some did own newspapers, share books from the West, but really nothing till 1989. Oh, like that. So are you hoping that in Belarus too there's like more background situation, but nothing in the front? Because I'm kind of coming from the idea of like, if there were a bigger mass of people against the current situation, I think that they would show it. I don't think they are against the situation at the moment. In 10 years, 20 years, who the fuck knows how long, especially if we see some good moves coming from the West, and Ukraine does manage to win this war, I am expecting we could see more people rising up against Lukashenko and rising up against Putin even. But this would require a defeat of their countries. And then it's like, you know, like how much are you genuinely on opposition to Lukashenko and to Belarus helping Russia in this war? And how much are they just going to be angry because the situation in Belarus is going to be deteriorating? How much are they actually ideologically against the Vatnik mindset in a way? Because right now I don't think they are. They might become more against it in the future. Right now I think they're GG with it. Sup Slippers, how's life going? Are there fake opposition people opposed to the Western countries they are from in Russia? Oh, I know they do have Americans in support of Trump and shit like that. So maybe something like that. I hate it when work happens at work. Same. Dude comes in, says, I have a problem, you and me both. Get the fuck out. I understand that so much. But also realizing how lucky it was when 1989 happened. The other two. Still on the grind. Nice. Congratulations. I hope you're getting buff for shit.
Casualties a day. Killed,
strongest poll around.
10,000 soldiers
Slippers for president, so
war
Poles can not be a cock nation anymore.
So we're in a holding pattern for the next 2 weeks. I know this is agonizing, guys. Polish Prime Minister Tusk says Zelensky's victory plan will be reassessed after the US election. The Prime Minister of Poland is saying, I'm not even going to talk about it until I know who wins. Is it Kamala Harris and a continuation of support for Ukraine, or is it Donald Trump, in which Ukraine's screwed and we have to change our language?
I'm kind of salty about this too. I'm just posing Jake. He said nothing wrong here. He did say a lot of wrong things before, but why do you, as Poland, as country on whose border Russians will be if they manage to win Ukraine, why would you be like, oh, let me see who wins in America. Let me see who wins on the presidential elections in America so I can decide whether I'm okay with Russian troops on my border or not. Why do you need America for that decision? Why do you need USA for that? What is it? I'm genuinely not saying this. I don't know what he's thinking when he says that. Why would the US elections matter in the question of, hey, do you want Russia to win or do you want it to be defeated? How does it matter? It would be like heading a bunch of retarded cats. I mean, but maybe if you're like really buff, I feel that would be a good motivation for people to follow you wherever you go. You know, you could do like Putin propaganda, like him, you know, on that horse, fully naked from the waist up. I feel you could do that, just be really buff, and then be the poster person for NATO Eastern Flank. I feel that might be really, really cool. We have a plan. I don't know what we have at the moment. Half of the Poland is waiting for Trump to be their savior too. Half of Poland is retarded. Why would Trump save anyone? If Trump wins, he will behave. If Kamala wins, he will keep asking for money. Who's he? I have no beer left. Oh no! I drank 3 beers on Saturday on an empty stomach. Had the time of my life. USA ain't gonna save Poland? What do they even mean by saving Poland, though? From who would Poland need to be saved? From their own stupid decision-making? From their own idiotic decisions? Zelensky? I mean, he will behave if Trump wins. What do you mean by behaving? Like allowing his country to get butchered? Is that behaving to you? Surrendering? Allowing a genocide to happen? The fuck is behaving? Tusk doesn't care that much. His people are not as rabid anti-Russia as peace. Oh. Can he get replaced anytime soon? Can we get rid of it? Slippers, you gotta be the anti-soft anti-Russia views option. You gotta be Russophobic to the max. Russophobic to the max with like humongous muscles and everything. So you are the perfect representation of everything Europe should be standing for, which is really, really strong, good-looking man and hating Russia. What's wrong with Poland at the moment? They're not making any smart geopolitical decisions. Both on the question of them recognizing that if Russia wins in Ukraine, it is directly bringing the Russian military to the border with Poland, which no one really fucking wants, but also on appeasement of Russia and allowing Russian drones to fly through Polish territory as if that's a completely normal thing. Poland currently is making decisions that are only making them look weaker, and of course that is not a smart decision at all. Damn Zelensky and his 100 palaces. Ooh, Zelensky bought a new Lamborghini. Have you seen that? Confirmed Twitter sources tell me that. Russia should be broken up in dozens of pieces. I don't really think it's getting broken up. I don't see it getting broken up. I don't know. You're like a political scientist? How would you define a political scientist? Polish wanted Tusk, so they got Tusk. Now enjoy Tusk. I mean, yeah, I just... Sure, we want Tusk. Rusk. Everything is better than piss. I see that. I see that. It's just... Know what I mean? I see why he would be better than piss. At the same time, I wish you had someone not sabotaging the entire country. I wish you people had something like that. Focus on domestic affairs mostly. Even then though, when it comes to focus on domestic affairs, I don't know. What's a big thing in European politics right now? Immigration crisis. Who's causing the immigration crisis in Europe? Well, gas. Gas. I don't know. How can you be like sucking off Russians? You know they're causing problems. You know they're pushing people over your stupid border. Why are you just being like, you know what? I'm actually kind of chill with having them here. You're insane. Are you fucking insane? Getting back the judicial system. Oh, sex marriage? Oh, damn. You're talking about that right now in Poland? Same-sex marriage? Really? Oh, man, I've seen nothing about that. Nice. Trying to understand the channel. I'm trying to understand what you meant by Zelensky behaving. Do you think behaving is giving up in trying to save your people from a genocide? Do you think that's behaving? How is that behaving in your eyes? How do you define behaving? Oh, this ally of USA is going to know that USA is a worthless partner, so he's not going to be asking USA to help them save themselves from a genocidal force that is only invading them because, you know, they gave up the nukes. Because USA encouraged them to do so. How's that behaving? What stupid decision is that?
It's Lachiko Redeemed. Share your thoughts. How do you call someone with no body at all but only has a nose?
Bro, the hell. Closed asylum system for Russia and Belarus. Also shooting on immigrants that attack bodyguards. Shit. Hey, yo, Lord, welcome. Shit. Full on shooting? Full on weapons allowed? Man. Oh, Kremlin. Kremlin says Moldova's elections are not free and results raise many questions. Imagine Kremlin. Imagine Kremlin daring to comment on your elections. Imagine Kremlin, fucking Kremlin, being like, yo guys, we don't know if your elections are free. Fucking Russians out of all people. Peskov described Moldova's election campaign as unfree. Who the fuck asked Kremlin? Why would you get the trash of humanity to comment on this? Who the fuck asked them? Who was like, yeah, I wanted to hear what Russians think about this? Why the fuck? Whose stupid decision was that? That's stupid. Maybe if Kremlin bans, it's more warm for the bombs. Oh shit. You guys are doing friendly fire again, and I'm always concerned when I see that.
Russia is openly working with Donald Trump. North Korea is openly working with Donald Trump.
Roid raging,
to get him back in power.
To my gym.
If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. What am I missing here? Sometimes, guys, when I sit at this computer, I feel like I'm having an out-of-body experience.
Out-of-body experience?
There are no coincidences when it comes to large-scale actions such as this. The timing is deliberate. So let's move on to some other headlines. French Minister Brat backs Ukraine's victory plan, calls for other allies
but
to support
wasn't it true that like Macron was also supporting?
President Zelensky unveiled his 5-point victory plan for
Macron
Ukraine.
was also rather supportive for a while, and now he's also doing nothing. So I don't know how much strength I'm putting into this.
NATO has to give an invitation to Ukraine for them to start this process. Without any real security guarantees like NATO, these wars will never end. Russia will never stop attacking Ukraine. So France, I think, based on these statements, is supporting it. And according to Le Monde, U.S. softened stance on Ukraine's NATO goals.
Now, Macron for a while was like,
influencing Germany.
We're not going to rule out
an unnamed European
French troops coming to Ukrainian territory.
That if Kamala Harris
and now there's actually, like, you know, North Koreans coming to fight against Ukraine.
Before he leaves office in January.
If you wanted to send your troops, I think this would be a perfect time. But now Macron is like,
an invitation to join NATO.
I don't know.
How is this going to work if there's still an active war going on?
Like, it was easy to say that previously, and now it's like...
That's going to be figured out later. But once again, the next 14, 15 days, we're in a
Fucking
holding
USA has
pattern.
to influence Germany.
Nobody's going to change any policies. Nobody's going to make any decisions. Americans are voting right now. Something like over
he was
13
against help
million
because we can't
Americans
humiliate Putin. That's
have
also
already
true.
voted by mail or voted in early polling locations. So let's talk about Putin and his politics. Putin seeks
I'm feeling
to
we're not
rival
really going to
Western
be
power
seeing
with
any
a
move
high-profile summit.
happening, actually.
The upcoming summit of the BRICS group
until
will
we
be
see
the
us
biggest in
cleaning
Russia
house from
since
the
the war in
inside.
Ukraine began, and comes as Putin seeks
It's
to
like
show
until
Western
Macron
attempts
goes
to
and
isolate
calls
Moscow
Schultz a pussy-ass bitch
have
boy,
failed.
I'm not really expecting to
Now let me
see
just
big
play this
changes.
clip for you of Putin being smug. Putin looks confident that he's about to win big in 15 days and get the help he needs to finish off Ukraine.
What, 15 days?
Когда натовцам надоест с нами воевать, это у них тоже спросительно. Мы готовы к продолжению этой борьбы. И победа будет за нами.
He's so smug. He's so happy with himself. When will NATO get tired of fighting us? NATO's not fighting this war. How many NATO pilots have been shot down?
His fucking
How many
Putin
NATO
hotline,
soldiers
that
have
too.
been killed?
And they filmed
How
an
many
entire
NATO
thing about
ships
how
have been
Putin
sunk?
has basically taken a huge
Zero,
dump
zero,
right
zero.
in Macron's mouth.
But this is what Russia
And then
wants
later
the
he
world
still
to
chooses
think,
to be a coward.
is that the NATO alliance is weak. The NATO alliance isn't even that
It's
tough.
like he's constantly doing that.
Russia-
He's blue balling us. That's what
Well, they're
Macron's
not
doing. He's blue
single-handedly,
balling
they're
us.
getting help
He
from
keeps on
Iran
being
and
like,
now
yeah, we're
North
gonna do
Korea,
something
but
good. We're gonna do something
Russia
great.
is
We're gonna do a
defeating
big,
NATO.
strong move. And then he does
We are
nothing.
ready to continue this fight.
And then when the situation gets
victory
worse,
will
he's
be
again like,
ours.
hey guys, we're going to do something
This is a
so
bluff.
strong. And he again
All
does nothing.
indications inside of Russia is that they are struggling. Struggling to recruit, struggling to equip. Their Soviet stockpiles are almost depleted. Their national wealth
Hedging
fund is draining.
fantoming around.
All their oil refineries are catching on fire and blowing
I'm
up.
like, genuinely.
Russia has serious problems. And they're so
I'm
desperate.
so salty over
They're
that.
importing
We
10,000
can't promise our
North Korean
troops we're going to
slaves
be that.
and introducing them to the battlefield.
And then you don't send the
When
troops.
it's going to be absolute chaos for both those North Korean men,
Ugh.
but also their Russian overseers, who have to babysit them and figure out how to properly use them to their advantage, which I argue is not going to be very
Jake needs to
impactful.
understand NATO won't enter the war.
So
Wait,
I've
you
got some
think
other
Jake
random
thinks
headlines here for you.
NATO will enter
the
the
first
war?
video I want to play for you. This is Russian-occupied Donetsk. They've been without running water in their homes for over 2 years now, and the Russians said they finally fixed it. Ukrainians living in the occupied territories now have running water in their homes, but it's not where they expected it.
Пошла вода в Донецке.
I don't know if you can hear the church bells, but they've been going for like 11 minutes at this point.
Нормально идет вода, правда не из того места. Сейчас берем другую комфорочку, вот эту. Вот мы включаем нижнюю. И опа, тоже вода идет. А это все ладно.
He seems to expect NATO to step
Ладно,
up,
там
but NATO is
2
not
или 3,
interested.
вот.
Jake is not
Когда
as
все комфорки с водой
doomerish as I
начинают
am.
бежать. Вот она вода идет.
Jake is just a bit more.
О, вот она тоже
He
пошла.
still has that light in his eyes, you know what I mean?
Russian repair
Still has that light in
technicians
his
are
eyes, and I
forcing
fucking
water
don't.
now through the gas
You know when I got
pipelines.
light in my eyes? You want to be honest?
Something tells
You
me
want
if
to be
this man
honest? You
goes
know
to
when's
flush
the
his
last
toilet, it
time
might explode.
I felt my
Let's get some bad
soul
news for Russia.
tingling a
Russian
little bit
electronics plants reportedly on fire
when I saw
after a drone
Stanenko
strike in Bryansk.
being like, you know
The
what,
drone
guys?
strikes are never
Like,
going to end for Russia.
if Zelensky wants nukes
Russian war
for
criminal
Ukraine,
killed in a car bombing,
it could be
according
arranged.
to Ukrainian intelligence.
That was
This
the last
Major
time
Dmitry
I felt that little.
Baruka, and he was killed in
Last
Russian-occupied
time, never
Luhansk.
since. It was like a few
There's a
days
video.
ago.
I'll link it
Everything
down
I've
below if
watched
you wanna see
since
it for
has just made
yourself,
me
but
more and more and more doomerish.
car
Because I
bombings
feel
appear to
once you're
be,
in this once you're in this rotten state of mind, any positive thing people say just makes it, just kind of feels like, you know, copium. Starenko genuinely the only person that lately made me feel like there might be some hope. I think Israel's going to attack Iran. Iran's going to respond to Israel and attack USA bases in Iraq before the elections. And then America will have to respond. Oh, they think it's going to make Trump seem like the main choice. Yeah, I kind of feel like that's going here too. Europe would fall into chaos with Russia because Russia would start attacking NATO because Trump wouldn't do anything about this at all. Yeah, no, definitely. I see that. I see that as like the worst outcome. You know the what's that YouTube channel called? The one that does like speculative future predictions. I feel that might be like the worst future. I feel that might be the worst future, and I feel as the possible worst future, it's rather likely, really. Because already I think we're seeing, you see the whole thing with like Trump trying to flex his relationship with North Koreans. He's already trying to present himself as like strong enough, the only person strong enough to be the peacekeeper. So definitely the current existence of North Korean troops fighting for Russia against Ukraine and Biden refusing to comment on it, refusing to do anything about it, it's making Trump seem genuinely like the strongest option, which is incredibly saddening because if Trump wins, we're all getting butt fucked. Yeah, they are absolutely fucking stupid. I don't know. I'm really salty. I was salty about this on stream like just a few minutes ago. But I feel Biden is intentionally lowering his chances of getting votes because he's being so passive. I don't know why he's doing that. With the power he has, he could blast Russians into oblivion. You know what I mean? He could do it. He could fucking do it. He could send enough weapons to Ukraine so we could see fires in every single military outpost in Russia that we know of. That would be a huge victory for him. That would be like a humongous balls moment for him to secure him more votes. And instead of doing that, he's just not. He's being like, yeah, oh, North Koreans in Ukraine. Damn, that's bad. And that's the only response we're gonna get from him. He's directly refusing to get votes for Democrats. Why is he doing that? How is he so stupid? I don't know. Not even him. He's old as shit. I understand why he is so stupid, right? But like his team, why would his team be doing that? Why would his team not be making proper decisions? I ain't seen that. The hell do you want? The hell do you want? English, please, on this channel. Thank you. Trump as the peacekeeper and then just ignoring genocides, calling it fake news. Yeah, definitely. And the worst thing is that, like, Dems could stop this. No, sorry, I didn't mean you. I meant Albatross. I didn't mean you. It's like, I don't know. They could be securing votes so easily. It's so stupid to watch it. It's so stupid to watch it. Why are they not securing votes? Why are they not securing votes? Americans would vote for Trump. Is the American stupid voter base? I feel if they actually got themselves a victory in Ukraine, I feel they would be securing more Democrat votes instead of votes for Trump. Because the entire thing that Trump currently goes on is that he is so strong that the rest of the world fears him. And he's going to create peace because he himself is going to be the deterrent, right? He's so strong and he's so good at decision making that enemies of USA will not dare to attack because they're going to be so worried about it, right? So worried about the USA response. So it feels like you can easily take this propaganda point away from him by having a strong response to enemies of USA attacking USA allies. Easily take away Trump's point. And they're not doing it. They're just... Oh, no. I'm so salty. Year into October last few years. Yeah, that too. It's very exhausting trying to understand the uneducated American voter base. That's true. I remember there's some Twitter channel, I don't know which one, but regularly they publish like there's a thing in USA where people just do random polling over like who you're going to vote for and why you will vote for it. And it's supposed to be a way to gauge the opinions of like the majority of the public, the undecided voters, right? Because when you're online, obviously if you are in political circles online, you are close to people who know a certain amount of things about politics. Even if you disagree with them, even if they're stupid, they still know some shit about politics, right? But when you go offline, a lot of people offline don't really have the same amount of interest. So these polls are supposed to get the opinions of people that are offline, right? And man, the amount of just absolute stupidity. They just have no fucking idea what's going on. It is ridiculous. It's like until the last day, they don't know who they're going to be voting for. They're just going to decide on a whim. It's an insane thing to watch, really. Example of how it's Putin's war and not 140 millions of bloodthirsty animals? No, definitely. It's even more concerning that they're going to be having the military in the Polish border. Poles under Tusk. Latest Destiny video was funny. Yeah, I'll have to watch it. I'm still not allowed to watch Destiny on stream, right? I would love to watch Destiny on stream. I love Destiny. But like he's still banned on Twitch, is he? Did they unban him? No, they unbanned Sneeko, right? Yeah, Sneeko got unbanned, but Destiny is still
more
gone.
Frequent events for
which is fucking
Russian
unfair.
Military personnel. Cargo ship capsizes in Russia's Far East, killing 2
Yeah, we got
crewmen.
Sneeko back. Who the fuck wants to listen
Just
to
another day in
Sneeko?
Russia. U.S. sanctions
Literally like
Chinese
lowering
firms
the IQ
producing
of the
drones
entire
for
Twitch
Russia.
sphere.
This is something new and something different.
We're talking about Twitch bans.
Chinese-
I don't know how many of you are like rotten in your minds and in these chaos parts of Twitter. Asmongold got banned on Twitch and he started, listen to this, cleaning his house. He started cleaning his house. He posted a photo of like his kitchen before and after. So that's where I was yesterday. That's where I was, watching responses to this, watching how people comment on this. Watching how people like respond to a grown-ass man posting images of him cleaning his kitchen. Because it was wild. It's wild. A whole nation of cockroaches. He had that humongous spider. He took a picture of his kitchen sink. And there's a big knife in there for washing. And there's a humongous spider on it. Bro. No, they banned him because he said Palestinians deserve to get genocided. He actually did say it. He actually, it's not like he didn't imply it. He didn't misspeak. He said Palestinians deserve to get genocided. That was the sentence. So I mean he deserved it. He deserved the ban. It's not like he wasn't talking about Hamas or something. Genuinely, he was talking about Palestinians as the people, as the nation itself. So yeah, deserved ban. Yeah, I'm disappointed in him too. I was kind of GG with the man when he did a Dr. K interview. I thought he was really, really smart in the Dr. K interview. And then later he was asked about Russian invasion on Ukraine, and he had a response that was basically, "Oh, why the fuck are you asking gamers about this opinion? Like, of course, I'm stupid, I don't know." So then I was like, nice, respect. But yeah, it seems that he went too deep into certain online circles recently. He did do a whole thing with like apologizing for it and everything. So I am guessing that I kind of got the idea he knows what he did wrong, but also he did say that his next video is going to be very right-wing coded too, something about the gaming industry, diversity, I don't know. So he didn't really move away from these circles, but I'm guessing he did move away from commenting on geopolitical affairs. Now we clip Vicky and get her banned. Oh no, I'll have to go to Kick. Yeah. I want to go to Kick, actually. I like it. I'm not a big fan of Kick. his Twitter feed is all insane propaganda. No, definitely. Very, very right-wing. Very, very rotten. But it's really hard, I think, to be in gamer circles and not fall for that shit. I don't think he has capacity to analyze his own words. Asman? I don't know. I think he's smart. I might be deluded about the dude. I don't know if there's like a difference in that. Because when he did that whole Dr. K interview, he was really, really good at, like, you know when you listen to people and you're just like, yeah, this dude knows how to analyze the situation and how to do introspection and everything. He knows what he's talking about. He knows how his audience breathes and stuff like that, how to influence them. You get the idea that he's really, really smart, but then he goes and he just, I don't know, outright says that an entire group of people deserves to be genocided. I don't know, man. Like, really smart in certain areas and then completely retarded in other ones. Might be the situation like we had with Jordan Peterson, where he does have all of his licenses and everything, right? But he has been so desperate in following what his audience wants for him to say that he started saying some really retarded things. Maybe it's like that. Ne razumijem kako odgovor na to je ajmo glasat za fašiste. Yeah, same thing. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It's such a stupid thing too, because it's such a cheap culture war point to bring up, you know? Vote for Trump so we get less force diversity in games. How does that have anything to do with anything? But it's been the almost the main point of the voting base for quite a while, you know. Oh, vote Republicans because Republicans won't do race swapping on Disney characters and stuff like that. And it's such a stupid thing. It's such a stupid thing to go for. He's all over the place. Yeah, that's true, that's true. Kenija za Europu, da to nije problem Amerike. A onako najveći trade partneri Amerikancima. Da, to isto. What? Elon Musk wants to make a gaming council to remove the woke? Elon Musk! What of all people? Fucking Elon Musk. Great. Lovely. Who are we talking about? Oh, Asmongold at the moment. Elon fucking Musk making a gaming council. He can't keep Twitter proper. He's making a gaming council. He was thinking of all Palestinians as Hamas terrorists. That's why he generalized them all. Yeah, I feel though it's a rather stupid decision to make, right? In your analysis of the situation. Why would you do that? Does he genuinely think like Hamas and Palestinians are interchangeable terms? I want to know. It's so confusing because this is not like a new streamer. It's not like he started streaming now, right? We're talking about a man who has been in the industry for a while. How does he not self-censor? How does he not stop himself? You know what I mean? That's really weird to me. How does he not go, oh, maybe I should like either say this in a softer way, even if he genuinely does believe it. Maybe I should say this in a softer way. Maybe I should soften it down somewhat. So then I have an excuse when this is clipped out of context or whatever. Even though it wasn't even clipped out of context. It was in the context. He actually said it. How? I don't know. Why do you not self-censor? He's been in the industry for a while. He should be learning how to self-censor. It feels like most big streamers know how to do this. How to like soften the blow in a way. How are you able to just go and say it? The fact he's very anti-religious, that too. Still though, I don't know. I'm being like, yeah, genocide is okay. Maybe he wanted some time off to clean his room. Maybe that. It does seem to be going rather alright, so I guess. By the way, I'll have to be leaving soon. Twitch doesn't Apply the criteria to the Free Palestine people, but ban Osman on the spot. Oh yeah, that definitely too. Yeah, Hassan is alright in supporting terrorists. Well, I do think that Osman deserved to be banned, to be fair. I think he deserved to be banned. But I think it's more of a difference between Bar Osmongold, right from the conversation. Hassan is allowed on the app, Destiny isn't. That, for me, that's what I'm salty about. Because I don't think Destiny ever said shit that was worse than Hassan's shit. Yet Hassan is around and Destiny isn't. That's what I'm salty about. Osman, I do think deserve to be banned, but Destiny, I don't think you can ban Destiny and leave Hassan in the mix. He doesn't care about money. You can't sub to his channel, so he wouldn't feel the need to censor himself to avoid losing money. Oh, I didn't even know about that. Everyone, this is Ukraine support channel? Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Did you see the TwitchCon clip where they ranked streamers from Arab to Jew? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And then they were like, oh, it's a funny meme. Ha ha ha. I don't know. Unbanning Sneeko and Fresh and Fit? Yeah, that's Jew. But then Destiny is still bad. I'm genuinely salty about this. I want Destiny back. I want Destiny back. I don't know why he's not unbanned. I want Destiny back. I don't even care about these other pieces of shit, but Destiny, we need Destiny. Yeah, I need to go to work too. I need to be leaving. I need to be going. It's 12:30. My alarm started ringing. I guess I need to go. I answered your question. Yes, this is a Ukraine support channel. Absolutely. Looking to him for anything resembling journalism would be a huge mistake. To be fair, on one hand, I agree with that. On another hand, I feel looking to a Twitch streamer for journalism would be a bad decision in the first place. It's like you can look them as news aggregates, but the news will always be biased, right? So yeah, you always need more. It's good to come for them to hear a specific take on a certain situation and maybe to have your mind changed. I use Reddit for that too. I think Reddit is great for that. There's a whole subreddit where you challenge people to change your mind on a topic. So you write a position on a geopolitical conflict or whatever, right? And then people are trying to explain their position and why it differs from yours and why you should be changing your mind. And I scroll through it sometimes to figure out different viewpoints and different shit. So I think that it's good to be using Twitch itself, but I don't really think it's useful as an actual reliable source of information. Also, I have to go. No 60-90 minutes. I actually have to go. I actually have to leave. So next stream Wednesday, same time as today, hopefully starting earlier because I do not actually have to be working with the workers outside. That was a great sentence to make. So then I'm hoping that I'll be able to start earlier. Yay! Yeah, but thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. I'll have to drive to work now, so stay strong, stay healthy. I don't know, follow the last few percentages of the elections in Moldova. How many do we have counted? We're still winning. So hope that we win by the end of the day.